That means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. That like button would tell me where you at. You know, step from the MBK. Born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
turn. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
So, what happened? You see what happens when you try to get cute? All right, let me see if I can there we go. Salute, Nick family, and welcome to a Saturday edition of the Just Nicking It show. I missed you guys this morning. I was in Washington D.C. at the MBK event. We for those who don't know, we went to the game to watch the Knicks eke out a victory versus the Washington Wizards. And it's always a good time when I can get together with those guys and gals, and also to meet those of you from the chat. So if you ever get an opportunity to come to an MBK event, please do. A lot of chill people, a lot of fun. I had a great time. And so I wasn't able to do the show this morning. Part internet access, part just being tired, and part not taking really good notes during the game. And I dozed off a little bit. Anyway, tonight I want to talk about the concerns that a lot of you have with this New York Knicks team, even though they're in 6th place in the Eastern Conference, and it's been, I don't know, between 6 and 8, but mostly in that 6th spot. I listen to the chat. I listen to my fellow panelists, and there's certain themes that's been coming up in terms of concerns with these Knicks. Can they hold on to leads? ISO ball offense. Yes, we do need help, but the help we need is already here on the bench. We really don't need to make a trade. So anyway, I said, let me pop on, do a quick show. Let's talk about those concerns. I'm going to drop the link in the chat, and I would love for those of you who are in the chat to hop on the show. You don't even have to do video. You could just do audio and just to voice your concerns about this New York Knicks team. I would absolutely love that. All right, let's see if there's going to be any takers. Anyway, I am joined by Ajay, as Stafford was here. I guess he'll be back.
He'll be back.
This is pretty. I like this. Let's see how long we can stick with this. Ajay, how are you?
I'm okay, Queen. Salute to you. Salute to the chat, and of course, Knicks Nation. Let's go. Let's get this thing popping up in here, man.
Yeah, and salute to the chat. JJ, Angel Torres, White, Falcon 44, A-Train. I got A-Train. You said you sent me the DM. I got to check it out. I have to check and see. David L, Cormega, Jerrell, we miss you. I dropped the link if you want to join us if you can. And Nev the Disruptor. I appreciate you. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification button so you'll be notified anytime I go live. Like tonight, I just decided to go live. All right, I got to let Stafford in. All right.
Peace and blessings, Queen. RJ.
Stafford.
Salute to the chat.
Salute.
All right. So
Saturday night edition. Let's get it.
Let's get it. All right. Let's just get right into it. So these are the concerns that was coming out of the chat. Like I do 3 or 4 shows a week, the morning show, then I do the Just Nicking It show on Thursday. I do Queen's Court on the MBK. And so I read the chat. I'm sure a lot of the hosts do. This is what's been coming up. So I'm gonna ask the chat and I'm gonna ask the panel. Let's get into it. How concerned are you that the Knicks blow big leads? And do you think that's going to impact how far they can go this season?
Uh, I'll go first.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
go,
No,
go
no, go
ahead.
ahead, Steph. Go ahead.
Okay.
Well, in my first perspective is that we are still a young team. We only have two guys that's really over 25, which is Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, 126, 127.
Mhm.
But the rest of our team is fairly young, 25, 24, 23, 21. So, we are still learning how to win at the same time. And at the same time, we're still learning how to close games. So, they always say experience comes with winning. And this team is very young, and we don't have really that much experience in closing out big leads. That's why you see we falter at the end in the fourth quarter. And also, too, I can't, it's also a part of uh, game execution, also, too, because sometimes we do make bonehead plays, can inbound the ball. I see RJ and Julius Randle fouling 3-point shooters at the end of the game. And also, too, part of it is Tom Thibodeau's sometimes with the rotations, adjustments, not to who to put in, who not to put in. Like for example, last night, he was rolling with RJ, but then it had a certain point in the game, he took him out and put in Grimes. So that was a good decision, to put him on Kuzma. So it's definitely a concern, but it's a young team. We are still learning to play with each other, and with by us blowing these leads, I think, and then after knowing how to close them out, we are learning. So I believe that we will get better, coming down to the stretch, knowing how to close games just by blowing some of these games, and not closing them out properly. So, by experience, we should learn and from the mistakes. So it is a little bit of concern, but I believe that we could figure it out.
Okay. Ajay?
All right. So, um, I'm not overly concerned about blowing those big leads, and I'll tell you why. So, before the season started, uh, I mean, with the couple of pieces. So when we bought in Jalen Brunson, I mean, it's granted it's one piece, but it's a crucial piece because he's the point guard. That changes the whole thing. So in my head, it was gonna take probably the first half of the season to adjust and to build up some sort of chemistry. Sometimes it takes a whole season, but because it was just one piece that we were bringing in, so I figured it was gonna take the first half of the season to do so. It's clear that it took them less than half the season to do that, to build that chemistry and to learn how to play with each other. I feel that all those games we're losing, I mean, I think we lost like 7, 8 games after having a 25-point lead.
Mhm.
Um, in the second half of the season, we're going to be winning those games. In fact, we're starting to learn how to win those games. You look at the past couple of games, the Raptors, the game we played the other day. You know, the Pacers, we starting to learn how to win those games. In the second half of the season, we're gonna be just fine. That's my main concern. And of course, like Stafford Dunn mentioned, Thibodeau, as stubborn as he is, I think he's going to figure out the right kind of rotation. For the most part, I mean, we can't rely on him to do it every time, but for the most part, I think he's going to figure out Not just him, but other guys on the bench. Johnny Bryant, um, um, Rick Brunson. Those guys, he listens to them. He doesn't necessarily follow what they tell him, but he
Mm-hmm,
does listen to
hmm
them.
hmm
And we're gonna figure out how to win those games. Like I said, we're starting to figure it out already. The second half of the season, we're gonna be winning most of those games rather than lose them. So I'm not, when we get to the next concern, we'll talk about it. But this is not one of the big ones for me.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's yes and no. Um, I'm a little I'm in the middle. A part of me believes that this is just part of being in the NBA. This is just part of the NBA. Teams, it's hard to hold on to a lead. It's hard to have a 25-point lead and win by 25. It's hard to have a 15-point lead and win by 15. It's a 24-second shot clock. You can't hold the ball, like back in the day. Um, there's the 3-point shot. Teams are going to get in. And in the NBA, just from watching it, there's ebbs and flow to the game. You go on the run, the other team goes on the run, right? So, and so in a way, it's to be expected. It's something that's happening all around the league. It's not just happening um, with the Knicks. So I kind of get it. But to your point, Ajay, the Knicks are pulling these games out. And so what I'm seeing from them now is they're giving up leads, they're bending a bit, but they're not breaking down as of late.
Yep.
And they're pulling it out. They're getting timely shots from Brunson or Randle. Brunson is hitting his free throws down the stretch now. And so with that, they're able to hold on and secure the lead. I still don't like the fact of having a 15-point lead in the fourth quarter and it was down to 2 or whatever it was. But I like the fact that now they're winning these types of games. And you're right, earlier in the season they were losing them. Earlier in the season we couldn't get a timely basket, or we would get a timely basket but we couldn't get a timely stop. And so then the other team would score, or we couldn't hit our foul shots. Even Brunson, as clutch as he's been, wasn't hitting foul shots. So we weren't closing out games. We were letting them in the game, all kinds of things. But as of late, we're bending a lot. I mean, a 15-point fourth quarter lead down to 2, but we're not breaking down and we're closing it out. And we're getting some experience. We're getting some experience, I think, to learn that no lead is safe. To learn that,
Right.
there's a certain way you need to play throughout the game. But even if you do that, another team can get hot and come back in the game or take the lead and whatever. You still have to close it out. So, I mean, they're getting that type of experience. So it is a bit of a concern. I just like the fact that as of late, they're closing it out. And I think it's something we're seeing throughout the league in the NBA. And to your point, Ajay, this or was it Stafford? This is a young team. This is a young team. Brunson and Randle. Besides that, who do you have? You have I think RJ is young, but this is what his fourth. This is his fourth
Yeah,
season.
RJ's young.
Then you got Grimes, his second season. You got Quickly. That's another concern, that these guys are not really proven just yet. So I think that's going to be something, we'll talk about that on another show. I think that's going to be tough in the playoffs to try to advance around with guys who are young and not really proven in this league. But anyway, let me get to the chat and see what they have to say about it. Nev, the Disruptor, I appreciate the super chat. Thank you for your support. This is a major problem because it is built in Coach Tibbs' coaching philosophy, and it will continue to be an issue as long as he remains the coach. I guess what I'm not getting, Nev, the Disruptor, is it's built in his philosophy to lose leads. Like, what's built in his philosophy? If you could clarify that for us, that would be great. David G, very concerned because it's 2 years of this now. Yeah, but I think that was one of the reasons we brought in Brunson. Oh, this is what I don't like about StreamYard is that when you show, all right, that's not what I meant to do. When you show a comment, it just messes up the visuals in terms of the face cams. Anyway, you're right. Last season we had 20-point games and what have you. We weren't able to close. I think this year though we're doing a bit better with it, but we're still giving up. Um, we're still giving up leads. JJ, I appreciate you. It's a bit worrisome because it can become a mental thing when they're up big and thinking, "Are we gonna blow the lead again?" Yeah, yeah. It can become um, a mental thing. Anthony, they have a
In a
true
sense, I have to agree
legitimate.
with JJ too. It is a mental thing also too. You gotta be mentally strong because you always hear the coach say the fourth quarter is a totally different quarter from all the quarters that we played. The intensity rises up, right? And it's either you're down, so either you're trying to get back in the game, or the
Mhm,
other team is trying to intensify the pressure to either get you to turn over the ball or
mhm.
do mistakes. So you have to have a strong mental capacity to fight over those type of distractions. So in a sense, I have to agree with JJ. It is a mental thing. You gotta be strong when you're going down in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. But, part of it, I agree. We talked about being young, but let's also talk about chemistry in terms of them playing together. So this team is young just in terms of this particular roster being together. Bringing in Brunson was a major change for how the Knicks operated last season or how they operated without him. Right? So bringing him in, that's a major, that's a major change. Randall said in the beginning, having to learn how to play off of him. So these guys are developing chemistry as well, and nobody is going to lay down for them. It's because you got a 20-point lead. Those guys are going to continue to come. They're going to continue to try to get back in the game, like we saw with the Pacers and the Wizards too. Like those guys were not going to back down, and neither was the coach. Double team, blitzing, the kitchen sink, basically to try to get back in the game. Salute, Kerry Cox. Still waiting for your info. DM it, DM it with me to me. Let me drop the link because Nev the Destroyer wants to come in. So yeah, so you could come in video or audio, and for 2-3 minutes, just to make your point. All right, all right. Um, there you go. So, any concerns that it's Brunson the one that's bailing us out? Because I know JJ. Correct me if I'm wrong, JJ. And then I met also somebody last night. I forget his name at the Washington game, who felt like they don't like the fact that down the stretch it's Brunson um, taking the clutch shots. Like they feel that even down the stretch, they feel like the ball should be moved more and it shouldn't just be Brunson taking the shot. I disagree. I feel like, and you'll see this throughout the entire NBA. Your best players have the ball in their hands down the stretch. Now that doesn't mean they have to shoot it every time, but your offense is going through them down the stretch. Any thoughts on Brunson having the ball in his hands before I let Nev in and then Kerry Cox? All right.
Queen. All right, so I'll chime in on this. That's just how the cookie crumbles. Okay. It's not. It just so happened that Jalen Brunson takes the last shot. And you know what? I have no problem with that because he's high percentage, he's clutch. Uh, he's Captain Clutch nickname. Not there's a reason for that. He comes through in the clutch more often than not, and I mean there's a huge percentage of the time he's successful at it. So I have no problem with if he does it every time and it works every time. Fine, let's go with it. But he's not the one every time. Maybe the Raptors game. Um, Quentin Grimes was clutch. Didn't Quentin Grimes have a clutch like a three point shot that pretty much saved the game? So it doesn't have to be, and it hasn't been Jalen Brunson. Sometimes it's IQ, sometimes it's RJ. It just doesn't happen that often. But you know what? If it's Jalen Brunson, because it's more of a certainty with him, like he has a high percentage of success, high success rate, I have no problem with that. If it works, let's keep it going. That's what I say to that.
Okay. All right, staff. Before I let in Nev and then Kerry Cox, you did you have anything you wanted to say? No, I guess not. All right.
Queen,
Oh,
my
go ahead.
internet is very, very, hello, can you hear me? No,
I can
my
hear you.
internet is very choppy. So can you repeat the question again, please?
I said, did you have anything to say to that point about Brunson having the ball down the stretch before I let in Nev and then Kerry Cox?
No, I have no problem with Brunson having the ball in clutch positions, no, in clutch situations. No, he has won us a lot of games thus so far in the season. I believe if you check the statistics, he is clutch. I think he's like top 5 in clutch points in the fourth quarter, and he's clutch all around. So I definitely don't have no concerns with him having a ball at the end of the game. But I also feel like Tom should also have him as a decoy sometimes. And because the only reason why I say that is because the other team is expecting him to have the ball in his hands. So I believe if he could create plays for Grimes and RJ and IQ and these other players, I think we could execute down at the line much better, not having to go to him as much. But he is clutch, and I don't mind him having the ball in his hands. But sometimes it could be a little stagnant, and the team also can't predict where the ball is going. So sometimes I like to see him play off the ball, have IQ bring up the ball sometimes and swing the ball, and it could come back to him and he could create a shot and score for us. But sometimes when you just give him the ball right then and there and it's clutch time, the team knows that where the ball is going, so they have time to blitz him and force turnovers, and that's not what we need. So that's the only thing with that particular situation I just have a little concern about. But otherwise, give it to him. He bring it home, Brunson. That's our closer right there. So yeah, I have no problem.
All right. Kerry Cox, come back. All right. Nev, I'm gonna let you explain tip. It's not now. I know. Don't come with the Tibbs manifesto on everything he's not doing wrong. I'm just in terms of that particular point.
I am not.
I'll last night he was capping.
So I'll keep it short.
Last night I don't know what he and Rob was thinking.
Yeah. So number one reason is that we play our starters extensive minutes. So number one reason we actually put ourselves in that position. That's what I'm saying. It's a feature.
Okay.
Gotcha. Because that's number one. Number two, we play iso ball, especially in the fourth quarter. We literally don't try to take advantage of people playing us aggressively. That means we anticipate the aggression and we're going to pass right out. So like there no time you will see Randolph just, hey, I'll catch the ball, pass it. Just catch it, pass it. We don't do the catch and pass. We do catch and hold, catch and dribble. So therefore, teams, after being tired, teams can take advantage of us because we want to. Randolph, you have seen it many times. Randolph wants to go against two, one against two, one against three, and so forth. And Brunson wants to dribble through the crowd and so forth. These are the things you can anticipate, but we don't do it. So therefore, it's a feature in our offense. We're going to have this problem. We're not. That is not going to stop because of the way we are willing to play. You know, all
Okay.
we have to do is just, hey, catch a ball, pass it. That's it. Pass it and wait till when it comes back to you because we want to extend these guys to work harder. We don't extend them working harder. So their work is our double team. They double team us, and that's the extent of the hard work. But if
Right.
we just make one extra pass, we'll force them to work a little harder. So
Right.
therefore, when they come around to Randolph, he can take advantage.
Right.
Brunson can take advantage, but that doesn't happen. So big leads, as long as we continue to play that ISO ball, and then we extend our guys for in the 9 minutes. And I even made that suggestion last night. Coach Tibbs can move up the pressure point by taking the starters out earlier and bringing them earlier in the fourth quarter because he wants to play them in the fourth quarter. So therefore, just move the pressure point. Take your guys out earlier. Start taking your guys out at the 5-6 minute mark because at the 9 minute mark you're going to bring them back in. So you move the pressure point. They come in fresher. And they can play longer. But he
The
doesn't do
only
that.
the only thing I would say to that, and we're going to talk about this a little later in the show, is we don't the players that we're bringing in are limited, and so they can defend, but they're not two-way players. And so when you're taking them out for this period of time to get them a rest, you are risking the game changing a little bit. But I hear what you're saying, and that's why
Yeah.
we're going to talk about this later on, whether or not we need to bring in some reinforcements so that we can take them out and feel easy about it, as opposed to take them out and feel on edge that these guys can defend, of course, but these are NBA players. You're not going to just defend them to the point where you shut them down totally and they don't score at all. You know what I mean? But maybe for a minute or two, maybe that'll help. So yeah, I hear you. I hear you on that one. Appreciate you, Nev.
All right, Steph.
All righty.
Thanks for letting me in.
Of course. AD and then Kerry Cox.
Salute.
Salute. How are you?
We doing okay.
Sharon, I would love for you to
Big
come
brother
in.
AD, what's good?
JJ,
What's
I
good?
would love for you to come in. Go ahead.
Stafford down. Salute, my brother. CSK.
Hey, man.
Kerry. I get a kick out of Nev. Big fans are never happy. You sound like Mr. Miyagi. The pressure point. The pressure point.
Focus, Daniel son.
Focus. Daniel son, focus. I came on because I heard Steph say that with the fans that she ran into, and they were unhappy or they wanted to see something different with Brunson, holding the ball so much. I'm like, why would you even continue conversation with these people? It's like you can't please these folks. You're never gonna be happy. Like, if you really watching this game, right? And this is no critique to anybody, no disrespect. When Brunson gets that pick, and gets into the lane, you could almost close your eyes. Something good is going to happen. He is either going to hit the wing for the shot, or he's going to take a very high probable shot. For crying out loud, what else could you want out of your point guard in those key? And he's going to the free throw line and knocking down everything. That's it. That's all I wanted to say.
I mean, I agree with you. And we're not talking about the entire game. We'll talk about the ISO ball later. But I'm talking about down the stretch. You look at Boston, you look at Philly, you look at Dallas, you look at any team down the stretch, the ball is going through your best player. The ball is going through. I'm not saying you got to take every shot, but the ball is going through them. And I think that you play into the defense's, the opponent's hand when you take the ball out of a Tatum's hand, out of a Doncic's hand, out of a Embiid hand, out of a Randle or Brunson hand, and give it to Grimes. You helping them out.
To make him a decoy. To make him a decoy late in the game. That's nonsense.
I think yeah. Now, I'm not saying he got to take every shot. I'm just saying you start with him and he reads the defense off the double. You read the defense.
Why would you go someplace where it's going to be less efficient?
That's kind of what I said earlier, Queen. If it works, so if for the past 10 games, right, down the stretch, Brunson wins 8 games, that's 80% clip, I'm doing it every time. I mean, I don't understand the point of distributing the ball just to say we distribute. It doesn't matter. If ISO ball works for Jalen Brunson down the stretch, if it works 8 out of 10 times, I'm doing it 8 out of 10 times. I'm doing it every time.
He puts so much pressure on the opponent's point guard. It's disgusting. If you know you're going to come up against this dude, you better get a good night's sleep because he is attacking your whoever is coming up. He is going to run them through that high screen to death. But anyway,
so let me ask you this, right? Let me ask you this, 80. So you telling me not one time, okay, in the fourth quarter that we could have IQ bring up the ball and have Brunson as a decoy to swing the ball, even though he's still going to get back the shot and score. Is that a problem?
No. I'm not saying it's a problem, but here's what happened when you get cute. See?
I'm not saying to get cute because what I'm saying to you, right, 80? Hold on, before you even answer, right? But what I'm saying to you, the other team knows where we are going.
So what?
They already know that. And you see in certain, for instances, they blitz him and sometimes he turns over the ball. I'm not saying not to give him the ball in clutch moments. But all I'm saying, sometimes you could give it to somebody else to bring up the ball and, and swing it, and he could still get the ball to create his own shot so he could score. Go ahead.
Do you know that Brunson is playing the last game or the game before, I believe, like 40-something minutes and had 1 turnover? 1 turnover.
Yeah, well, that was just last night. What about the other games that he had multiple turnovers?
Brunson is not turning,
especially in that.
Brunson is a low. Brunson is like I would probably.
I'm not. I think it was the Indiana game.
Brunson is extremely low turnover, extremely high efficient. I'm not saying what you saying. Give him a different look here and there, but you've got this guy less than 50 games. He is putting down his stamp. Okay, they are putting down their stamp, and this is how we play. Okay, this is how we play, and if this is how you shouldn't be trying to have your best guy as a decoy at any time.
Yeah, because I think, and this has happened. This is for every team's best player. What makes them good, and for some of them great, is what they're gonna do. You know where their spots are and where they're trying to get to, and you can't do anything about it. That's what makes them as good as they are. And Brunson is turning into that. Everybody knows what Brunson is trying to do. Everybody knows what he's trying to do off the pick and roll. Everybody know where his spots are. There's no hiding it. Everybody know. But can you stop it?
Stop me.
That's the thing. Salute Pudge Nice. So for me, if you can do it and it's working 80% of the time, go with it. Now. You shooting 40%. Sometimes you clank it off the board, and sometimes, and it's like a mystery what you're gonna do. Nah. Move the ball, rotate it, and let's see who gets the best shot. But I feel like down the stretch, that's the guy to have the ball.
God forbid we use him as a decoy. The ball ends up in Mitchell Robinson beyond the 3-point line.
Come on,
Right,
no, AJ,
right,
come
Joe.
on now. That's not the point I was. That's not the point I was getting to, though. That's not the point I was getting to.
No, I know what you're saying, Stafford.
The opponent. Okay.
No,
I know
what you're
Stafford.
saying.
You're right. They know.
You're right. They know what they're doing, but they can't stop it. So if it works 8 out of 10 times, let's do it.
And before I get to Freezy, you know where Durant is going. You know where Luka is. Like, you know where those guys are going.
You knew where Stockton and Malone was gonna go every time.
Guys, we're one effective player away.
Is that Kerry Cox? Welcome, Kerry Cox, to the show.
Hello.
I appreciate you. Sherwin, JJ. I'm going to drop the link again. I hope you come on. Go ahead, Kerry Cox. And then
listen.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
You know, I've been harping on getting a player like OG Anunoby before the start of the season.
Preseason, yeah.
Listen, everybody keeps saying we are one superstar away. I think we're one highly effective player away.
From what?
All right. Somebody like I said, OG Anunoby.
Away from what? Away from what?
From serious contention.
Like how serious?
Possible second round win. Go to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay.
We need that one really tough two-way player. OG Anunoby. I tell you who kind of opened my eyes was Josh Richardson.
Oh, that's Freezy guy.
And we pushed Grimes back to the second unit.
He's smart.
You put Grimes back in the second unit. Make the second unit more effective, more deadly, more. You're just not focused on IQ. It's not enough scoring there. I like McBride. I like his defense. I like his hustle. He's not ready. He's not quite there yet. He'll be there maybe another season too, but he's not.
Emmanuel Quickly?
No,
McBride.
Quickly is there. McBride. I'm talking about McBride. We need another scoring punch. That could be Grimes in the second unit along next to Quickly. I don't want to talk negatively about any of our players. All I will say is I was expecting more from iHeart. I was expecting a little bit more. And not just on the scoring end, his passing, his defense. If we had somebody like Josh Richardson coming off in the second unit with IQ and Grimes, defense is there. We could rest our guys a little bit longer so they're fresher in the fourth quarter. Oh, that would be serious. I don't want to come off as a hater either, but Obi has seriously disappointed me, and he always has.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about
Obi. He just ain't that dude. You know, I always post that he is nothing more than an entertainer, and that's all he is. He's exciting, gives you maybe 8 exciting points, but he gives up 12 to 16. He's not enough. He's not what is needed. We need more. We need more.
Go ahead.
But no. So what I'm saying, everybody's expecting a big trade to come up. I'm not expecting a big major superstar trade. I think we get one really good, effective player, OG Anunoby, Josh Richardson. Hell, I'll take Patrick Williams from Chicago. That's a Tibbs dude all the way. That's
So
a
let me ask
Tibbs
you
dude.
this. Let me ask you this, Kerry Cox.
Yes.
So if you're saying those types of moves, which are not star player moves, gets us to the second round Eastern Conference Finals, what are you saying then about the core of Brunson, Randle, RJ, and Mitch? And I say that I named those four because that's close to $400 million that the Knicks have committed. Are you saying that you feel like 2 or 3 of them are already at a star level, already can be a 1 or 2 on a championship contending team, and you just need to support them?
Right. Brunson is our
Okay.
star. Brunson is our star.
Okay.
He's a budgeting, coming out star. Randle is playing star-like, and I think he can keep it up. Will he be the major superstar? I don't quite think so, but he is reliable. You can count on him. Even if he's not scoring at his upper 20s, 30 points a game, he's still grabbing 12 rebounds, trying to play defense. He could be better, but he's trying to play some serious defense. I like his help-out defense a lot more this season than last season.
Yeah.
I see the difference. I like his attitude. Haters are going to hate. Let them hate. I don't care. Brunson is great. And if teams focus on Brunson and Randle, that opens up a little bit of space for RJ. I see RJ has improved from the foul line. We always said all he has to do is hit more foul shots. He could average 23, 24 points a game. And I see that from him. I see them, and he's durable. So the major superstar is not what we need. What we need is that really good, hard-nosed two-way player. I was even willing to go after Kelly Oubre before he got injured.
Wow. Now, this is
I really was.
Kerry Cox talk that talk. Now, this is basically what he's saying. And I had this show a few weeks back. Can these three be the core of a championship contending team where you just fill in around them with the right two-way pieces? I'm not just talking about ragtime. Can you have a core of those three guys as your best players on a championship contending team? And the Knicks fans was kind of mixed with that. Some felt like, maybe, but I don't know if a Detroit style, team construction can work in this NBA. And then there was others who said, nah, we need a star on this team, because they didn't feel, at least at the time, that neither Brunson or Randle were a number 1 or a number 2. But what I'm hearing you say, Kerry Cox, is, yeah, they are, and just fill in behind them.
Just fill in behind them. Tell me Brunson is not a star. Try to convince me Brunson is not a star this year.
I think no. I think he's a budding star, period. And the only reason I say budding is I just want to see him in the playoffs for the Knicks. That's it.
Okay.
But if you put if I had to put money on it, because I saw him play last year, if you said, listen, you can't wait for the playoffs. I need you to put money on it right now. I'm putting money on that guy as a star. That guy.
He was a star last season in Dallas. He was. I've seen enough. I'm convinced. Randle has to keep up his good play. RJ needs to remain steady. And I still think RJ, Freezy brought this up. Freezy said that RJ is a smaller version of Randle. And after I thought about it, I laughed about it. I said, you know what? He's kind of right. But I still think he would be most effective at the 2 on the starting team. He would be a better at scoring guard, and we need to get that small forward, that two-way, hard-nosed, play defense. But if I get the ball in the hole near the basket, I'm going to score or at least get to the foul line. That's what we need.
Jonathan Isaac.
Real toughness. Some real Grimes. I like Grimes, but I think Grimes would be superb next to Quickly on the second unit. That'll shore them up. It'll give him a little bit more scoring punch. He gets a little bit more freedom. And then we're there. And I want to see them do something with Mitch. You know, even at the start of the game, let him take 1 or 2 shots, maybe from the foul line in, not just dunks. Let him shoot, jump hook, something, just to draw his man out a little bit away from underneath the basket.
Right.
My other displeasure, I don't see the Knicks cutting to the basket enough. Nobody cuts to the basket. Nobody.
Yeah, we're
They
gonna
stand
talk
in the
about that.
corners.
Yeah, we're gonna
They
talk about
stand in
that
the corners.
ISO, that ISO
Right.
ball thing.
They just stand around.
Yeah, we're gonna get right into that. I just wanted to welcome in Eddie C and ask him, did he have anything he wanted to add? Let me see. I forgot about the first thing. Oh, about the about the Knicks blowing big leads. Is that a concern of yours? And then we'll move into the next topic.
Well, let me just say this.
Yes.
And I'll let you go. A lot of teams blow big leads.
Yeah.
We're just so focused on the Knicks, it just looks like it's their issue and their issue alone.
Right.
A lot of teams are blowing large leads in the fourth quarter. A lot of them.
Right. I said that earlier in the show. I agree with you.
Yeah, I see that there's something with the officiating, that travel call they get carried away with, the non-foul calls. Knicks never get the right calls on their behalf when they're going to the bucket. They get beat up. They get, especially RJ.
Julius.
And Randle too.
Yeah, but Randle can kind of take it. He's a little bit stronger. RJ? He's got to bleed in order to get a call.
That's not a reason not to get a foul call, because you can take it. I mean, if it's a foul, it's a foul.
That's true, but they don't get it. They don't get it. Like that when Randle posterized that guy and dunked on him, I was surprised he even got a foul call there.
Right.
He got an and one.
Well, Kerry, do you remember when the ref? Do you remember when the referee said?
What'd he say?
When the referee said that that Randle is too physical to get calls or something like that. Do y'all remember that when the referee said that?
Yeah, but
because
that's
you
unfair.
don't give Randle calls because he's kind of too strong or something like that.
It's not fair.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So they got, the commissioner got to get together with these refs and say, listen, you got to call it the same way for both teams at all times.
Right.
So, but like I said, one real good two-way player for the second unit. Let me ask y'all before I leave, what do y'all think about Kristaps Porzingis' statement saying that he missed New York? Would you try to go for him?
No.
I don't have a problem with KP. He's definitely stayed on the floor more this season. I don't, he's missed some games, but it seems like so has everybody in the
right.
In the NBA. He could play the 4 and the 5, and he's matured as well. So I wouldn't have a problem with it.
I would do something like Fournier, Obi, maybe their protected pick back for him, but KP may not like where I'm going to place him because he's going to take iHeart space. He's not starting over Mitch. I'm sorry. He's not. For health reasons, and I think it just gives more of a scoring punch and some decent defense on the second unit. That would do it.
He can back up both. He can back up both Mitch and Randle, though.
Exactly. Yes.
He can back up both of them. Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, but Mitch, then after we want a little playing time for Sims too.
I think he can play next. He can play
Right. You see all the different combinations.
Can he play with? I hear what you're saying that in terms of defensively, but those guys are long. Even if they get beat with their wingspan, they can kind of catch up.
They can block shots left and right. They can change trajectories, everything.
Yeah, that's not a
But I need KP on the cheap. And he's not starting.
That's the problem with him. You're not going to get him on the cheap because this might be one of his last contracts, that he's going to be able to get, significant amount of money. because people think that he may have turned the corner. Like, I ain't buying it, but people think that he's turned the corner.
Well,
So,
it's got to be
he's
fair. If
trying
you
to
really,
mend the bridges that he's already burnt to see,
yeah,
because
and
he needs all the options available to him as possible.
well,
So,
it's on the cheap. Listen,
I'm cool on KP. Yeah, of course I would love to get a lot of players on the cheap, but that's just not the way it realistically is. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You really have
I
to
hear
pony
you.
up
I
for certain
understand.
players.
All right, we got to
But
move on to because it's so many. We're going to be in here. We're going to be in here for
yeah, I know, and I got to get up super early in the morning. I'm doing a convention at Jacob Javits in the morning, so I got to be 6:30 in the morning. So,
all right. Thank you for joining us. I
All
appreciate
right,
it.
bless up,
you
Kerry.
got it.
Bless up,
Hey,
Kerry.
please have a good night. All right.
Appreciate it. And Kerry, I didn't get.
Yeah.
So if you could send that information, did you DM it or you emailed it?
I DM. Yeah, I sent it into the chat.
No, can you DM me on my Twitter page so it can come to my mailbox?
I don't have Twitter, but yeah, if I have to download it.
Or can you no, you don't have to download it. Can you email me bksteph33 at
Hold
gmail?
on. Let me write it down. All right, what is it again?
bksteph STEPH 33.
Yeah.
At
where?
Gmail. Gmail.com.
At Gmail. You got it. You got it, sis.
All right.
All right. All right. Bye-bye.
Right.
All right, blessings, man.
John Levy, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate all the support. You guys coming in the chat, that helps. Super chats help. Hitting that like button helps. For me, it's about community and it's about getting this channel out so that more people can watch the channel and come into the community. That's what it's about for me. But let's move on to the next topic, and we're going to start with Eddie C. Any concerns that the Knicks players are playing? The guys are playing too many minutes. Any concerns about that?
Nah, I don't really have concerns about that. I think during the past 3 years, Thibodeau has built them up to play like this. And we're lucky enough that the players are really not injury prone. Not to say that an injury can't happen, but I have faith where these players seem to be on the floor most of the time. Julius Randle is an Iron Man. RJ plays a lot of games as well. Brunson is taking the physical brunt of these hits, but it's because he's the one player who doesn't have another option to go to on the team. Like, there's not another player. Maybe you can say Quickly, but Quickly doesn't take the hits that a Brunson takes. So there's really not somebody to supplement him in the manner that he plays. So I said that at the beginning of the year. I said if we don't take care of him, Brunson is going to get hurt, and we've seen already how much he gets hit. But the playing aspect of it, I think we're good. I think Tom Thibodeau has built this team up to be like this, to play a lot of minutes, to play hard a lot of minutes, and we have the players. Grimes, Quickly, looks like we have the players that can fill that mold. McBride, all these guys look like they're pretty healthy players.
Yeah, I just want to, before you guys go, let me just put this up really quick for context. So in terms of minutes per season, Randle is at 24th at 35.4 minutes. Now that's for the season. Like, we're going to get to other slides where you can see he's been playing more minutes as of late. But Luka's leading the NBA in minutes right now at 37.5. Randle is 24th at 35.4, which is a difference of 2 minutes. The difference of 2 minutes. Now, the last 15 games, Randle is at 2. 39 minutes a game. Siakam is at 1, 39.9. Dinwiddie is at 5. So the last 15 games, Randle is at 2. In December, Randle was 9. I don't see Brunson in the top 30. And in January, Brunson is at 2 and Randall is up there as well. I couldn't highlight both of them with my mouse. Oh, Randall is at 5, right? That's 6 games into January. So is that too much? Is that happening out of necessity? Is that Tibbs not knowing what he's doing? What's, your do you have any concerns about the minutes? Are you comfortable with it? And why do you think it's like that right now?
He like I said, he always does this. Like this is the way
Oh,
he
no,
plays.
Eddie. I know you got it. I know. I mean, I was.
But I just want to say like this is what he does. Like we're playing 9 guys. He wants the best 9 players out there. It looks like we're even playing 6 guys now.
Right.
He wants his 6 players out there, and we're winning basketball. So we're winning basketball games. So this is what he does, and I'm okay with it, 100%. I would do the same, to be honest.
Okay.
I have no problem with it, Queen. I mean, these guys are professional NBA players. They should be able to play. If you can't play, then you need to be a baseball player. Where you can where you can sit in the dugout and watch somebody else, at bat. But those guys can play. Those guys want to play. They're not complaining. Those guys, they fight for playing time all the time. So I'm pretty sure most of those guys are happy that they're playing all those minutes. And I don't, no, I don't have a problem with it.
Okay. I'll get to the chat as well. Staffer?
Oh boy. I'm a little concerned, man. I ain't gonna even lie. I'm a little concerned because so I feel like in the fourth quarter when we are
All right.
production on our bench.
Oh, he's back. He's back. Okay.
The lack of production on our bench, and it forces Tom Thibodeau to put back in the starters real quick. They can't get no. We could have a 25-point lead, and we decide, okay, let's put in iHeart, McBride, RJ. Quickly the regular starters and the regular bench players, and sometimes the league, sometimes the league don't even hold, and it dwindles down to 14, 12, 6, because we all know in this league no lead is safe. The team comes down, starts scoring threes like crazy because sometimes our perimeter defense is no good, and teams start scoring threes on us like crazy, and then Tom Thibodeau hits the panic button, and here comes the starters in already because the bench can't hold the lead. So I mean, sometimes I feel like it's the bench not scoring productively to hold the lead. Yes, they can play defense, and I feel like sometimes at the end, we're tired. We don't have any legs. I trust me, RJ. I mean, yeah, not RJ. CSK. I agree with you a lot. I mean, they're professionals. They are accustomed to playing these minutes, and it's all good. But I just feel like the bench needs to be more productive in order for us in the fourth quarter to really close out games and not have these guys play. I'm just saying over 40 minutes. Now, 35 minutes, averaging 35 minutes, that's not bad at all for the season for Randall and for other players. But I'm just saying sometimes in certain games where they play over 40 minutes, producing, and Tom has to push the panic button for the starters to come back in. So sometimes they barely get any rest. So it's not that deeply concerned for me. It's all good, but it's just a little concern for me. Just a little.
I mean, for me, it would be great if we had the luxury, if we had players on the bench where those minutes can come down to 35. but I don't think most teams have that luxury, you know? So yeah, I think if they were playing like 40, 41, 42 minutes every single game, I would have a concern. But 37, 38 minutes a game, I don't have a concern with that. And that this is the thing for those who want them to play less minutes. What's the alternative? So the alternative is to what? Give McBride 5 more minutes? Is the alternative to give Sims 5 or 10 more minutes? So, in my opinion, those guys are very limited. So, when you put those guys in, now when they do come in, now they got to really work hard, because the game may have changed. Now, I would like Cam in the rotation. I would even like Fournier in the rotation. I'm not talking about huge minutes, but I feel like everybody on our bench has limitations. Cam may have a motor limitation. Fournier may have a defensive limitation. I still think those guys can help us. However, the decision has been made that they're out of the rotation, right? I don't want to give even Sims is out of the rotation. I don't want to give McBride more minutes than he's getting. I just don't really trust him right now, with 5 or 10 more minutes. So you can mess around and have a rested team that doesn't even make the playoffs, or have a rested team that's fresh for what? Because now they've lost ground and now they have to play in the play-in, or now instead of the 6th seed, they got the 8th seed, and now they got to play Brooklyn. So, I mean, so that's my question to you guys. Like, what's the alternative? Who are you going to give those extra minutes to so Randle doesn't have to play longer? Who are you giving those extra minutes to so RJ does? Like, who are you giving the minutes to? I hear what you're saying. I'm not saying that, or they won't be fresh in the fourth quarter. They won't be fresh come playoff time. But who are you giving those minutes to?
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I like it the way it is. Like, there's people like you just mentioned Cam. There's people that would love to see him Cam play. I'm kind of done with him already. I think me and you agreed on that. Like, yeah, the potential is tantalizing, but there's a lot of things in play. One is the motor, but to me, the most important thing is the contract that he's seeking after this year, right? So I put my business hat on in that sense and said, like, listen, if I'm gonna have this guy here, and he's not gonna bring what I need because I have to fulfill other needs, I have to develop other players that are gonna be here past this year, then I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So I'm I like the recipe. The recipe has been doing very well for us, and when we two reasons that we have lost. I don't know if it's because Staffa mentioned tired legs in the free throw line. Sometimes when you miss, sometimes it's tired legs. Sometimes, right? But I think it's just more nerves. The team gets a little nervous at the end of games. Okay, and free throws has been an Achilles heel at the end of games. That's why we have lost. And the second reason we have lost is because of health. Brunson is our best player. He's our engine. He's the head of the snake. If he's not playing, we're not going to be the same team. We lost 5 in a row. He was down for 4 of them, I think. But besides that, we've played excellent. Like at the beginning of the year, I'm sure it was rocky, but when we got over that hump and we realized who we needed to play, the minutes distribution, the way it went down when Tom Thibodeau made the change, we started playing brilliantly, and we're back to our winning ways. Our team is healthy again. So I don't see any reason to change. The only thing that I would do is get better players at certain positions. Alex Caruso's name has been brought up. Okay, Alex Caruso would definitely be an upgrade over Miles McBride. Okay, so if you
His
put him in,
offense is limited too, though, Eddie C. If
I'm
you
not.
look at his
Mhm.
stats, his offense is limited as well.
Okay, so
But if you're talking about experience,
I'm
fine.
never gonna be that guy that thinks offense first. Like I know you need to score, but that's just not my mindset. My mindset is defense, defense, defense always. Because
But if
offense can happen at any point in time. Miles McBride can score about. There was a couple of games where he scored around 12 points off the bench. Played pretty well, and his defense is always there. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, if you guys want to fault me for not thinking about offense, I mean that's okay, I guess. Like
no,
I don't have a
that's not what
problem
I'm
with that.
saying. But what I'm
Not you
saying is,
personally, but it has been said like two ways. I get it. If you can get that, those guys are really expensive. But I want somebody that's elite at defense.
but that's McBride is what I'm trying to say.
I
That
think
is McBride.
Caruso is way better than McBride. He's taller, he's stronger, he can guard fours. I think he's a little bit smarter. He's ahead. He's way ahead of a Miles McBride. So if I can get somebody in that sense to play his role, I think we're a way better team.
If you're taking everything, so the point, my little pushback is you were just focusing on defense.
Mhm.
But if you're adding in experience, if you're adding in height, if you're adding in those things, I would agree with you. But if you're talking just defense,
At
McBride's
that
defense is
position,
just as good.
at that position, I'm willing to take the chance on somebody like Caruso. But I've also mentioned, and this is not a defensive player at all, I've also mentioned that I would love to get Vujicic to back up Mitchell Robinson instead of Ihart.
We'll get to that.
But I fall under the Carrie Cox way of thinking, where I think I can get him on the cheap, and I might be wrong with that. Like I am wrong with that. Like I know
Right.
I can't get him on the cheap. I would
Right.
love to try to get him on the cheap, but I know that's probably not possible.
All right, let's stick with the topic though. That we have concerns with playing big minutes. Let me get to the chat and see what the chat has to say about playing big minutes so we can move on. We got two other topics. Will these guys have legs for the playoffs? Yes. Them playing another minute or two above their counterparts, I don't think is going to kill their legs. If you look at the best players on the good teams, they play minutes. East Blue Drew, if we get to the playoffs, you will see the problem with it. If we get to the playoffs, I'm not blaming nothing on legs. The 10th player plays 7 or 8 minutes. We're talking about 8 minutes. Yeah, I definitely would like to get some more depth 7 through 9. I'm not disagreeing with that. John Levy, I appreciate your support. Thank you for the super chat. Let's bring bully ball back. New York 4L, and I take that to mean for life. Injuries is a concern for building blocks. Spanish Harlem, thank you, Steph, for showing this. Too many people think we're number one in minutes. East Blue Drew, this play style will not be good in a playoff run. Playing too many minutes will catch up with them. All right, we shall see.
Can I say something real quick?
Mm-hmm.
And this is speaking to the chat, right? You do know these guys practice like 12 hours, 14 hours a day, right? And very intensely sometimes. They can play 38, 38, 40 minutes. They can do it every other day. They're capable of doing it. So it's not, that shouldn't be a concern.
I think the concern is the recovery and what are they doing the next day. So if they're playing 38 minutes, 39, 40 minutes, are they also the very next day practicing hard, or are they recovering and just going through a light shoot around?
Usually they don't the very next day. They practice when they have like 3-4 days off.
Right. So I think that's to me, that's more of a concern. What is the recovery like and what is practice like the next day? Rogelio Cooper, I hope I said that right. Shout out to the panel. Love the show. Thank you for joining us. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel.
Rogelio Cooper.
Rogelio Cooper.
Rogelio. That's actually my brother. That's actually my brother's name.
Mm-hmm.
Rogelio.
Rogelio.
Yeah,
all right. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get that roll, Rogelio. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get that roll.
You good though. You good.
off the tongue. I definitely appreciate you. Queen, do you want Alex Caruso? And if so, who would you trade for him? I'm okay with Alex Caruso because of the experience, the intangibles, and things like that. He's on my fantasy team. Don't expect to get any more 3-pointers or any more offense than you're getting from McBride. But in terms of experience and things of that sort, he is an upgrade. So I definitely agree with you, Eddie C, in that he is an upgrade. And I said from the beginning, I would have liked to have had a third point guard just in case Rose
Yeah, he's
gets
definitely a better real
injured.
NBA player than a fantasy player. No doubt
Right.
about that.
All right.
Queen, you know what I
Yes,
noticed
let's
too?
move
You
on.
got most of these guys on your fantasy team. Yo.
I'm in 3 teams this year. I'm in 3 teams this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the ISO ball offense. This is something else that came up in the chat. Let me take this out. And I just want to know from the panel if you think that's a concern, and then also from the bench, the ISO ball offense. And for those who don't know, that the ball is not moving in the beginning of the season. You saw the Knicks were moving the ball, moving their bodies. As Brunson and Randle are coming more into their own, and these guys are basically unstoppable, and I wouldn't say unstoppable. They get really, really good shots. The movement has slowed down a little bit, and part of it is also the pace. We're playing at a very slower pace, but you can still move the ball. Is that a concern for you, that the ISO ball offense?
I think that's the strength of our team. That's the strength of our team. Randall is a predominant dominant ISO ball player. RJ is a predominant ISO ball player, and so is Bronson. And we use those guys effectively to score our points. We are scoring more than 100 points every night. And that is because of the ISO ball. Yes, we could pass the ball some more and turn up on our assists, because I think our past few games we had like 16 or 20 or something like that. It can go
Yes.
it can go up, but at the same time, that's who we are. That's our team right there. And you know what they say: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I don't have a problem with the ISO as long as we are winning, which we are. So I don't have a problem with it. But at the same time, Grimes need to get some more touches, as a 2, and get him in the offense some more. And they need to run some more plays for Mitch around the rim. So as I said before, I don't have no problem with the ISO ball. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But let me ask you a question, Stafford. Why does Grimes need to take more shots, and why do Mitch need to take more shots? I know where you're coming from, but I'm curious.
I feel like sometimes in the double team with Randall, and he normally does it. When he gets the ball, he passes the ball out of the double team, and Grimes gets that corner shot and makes the shot. Sometimes, Grimes, he cuts, he slashes, get him more involved in the game a little more, instead of sometimes just being a corner 3-point shooter. Make him slash to the basket as he normally does. 'Cause I think that's the only, probably besides RJ too, that slashes to the basket. And so that could also put some more pressure also on the opposing team. And as far as Mitch, right, he's there fighting, battling for the offensive rebounds. He's fighting for defensive rebounds. He's blocking shots. And especially if he blocks a shot and he's running the ball, feed him. You know what I mean? Give him the ball down in the post. You know what I mean? Reward the big man for running. Reward the big man for blocking the shots. I love that play where Brunson, saw him offer the box, and that was an alley-oop right there, and he scored. So they don't necessarily have to get the like 10 and 15 shots, but keep them involved in the game. You know what I mean? How just just feed them a little bit. I'm not saying they must take all the shots and feed them all the shots, but as for a player as Grimes, I just feel like he has more to his game than just standing up in the corner and defending the best player every night. I feel like he could slash. I feel like he could play make a little bit. And just different things. I feel like that he could do.
I
He
agree,
could
but let me
stagger
ask you this.
somebody minutes and
I agree
uh-huh.
with all of that. Would you take shots away from Brunson so Grimes can do that? Would you take shots away from Randle so Grimes can do that?
Repeat that again because my internet was just messing up. I'm
Would you
sorry.
take shots away from Randle so Grimes can do those things you're talking about? Would you take shots away from Brunson so Randle so Grimes can do what he's doing, and why? And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just
Well, I will stagger somebody minutes, for him to be, also get featured in some of the in some of the minutes. Like if I'm taking out Bronson, I'm bringing in quickly, and I'm leaving in Grimes. I mean, he could get some of the shots that Bronson gets and feature him a little bit, and have him go off.
Right.
Because I feel like he could be well, besides the fourth scorer on the starting unit. Basically, I think that's what he is, because he's averaging 10 points
Right.
as a starter, but I think quickly is averaging more points off the bench than him, right? So basically, he's like fifth on the team in scoring. But I'm just saying you could probably stagger the minutes a little bit for him to be featured a little bit, and just run a little bit of plays for him, and let him get his feet wet, and have him score a little bit.
But
I mean,
you
this is
you do see that what he does with when he brings in quickly, he brings him in for RJ, right? Like, you understand the staggering that he's doing there, because RJ becomes the main featured player on the second unit,
on the second unit. Yeah.
right?
On the
And
second
that's
unit, right?
and
Exactly.
that's the recipe that has made some of this thing go the way it goes. You understand? So if you switch that up, then you're switching up the style. That's where we could run into problems. Like, we were missing RJ the past 2 weeks that he was out. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't do too well. And now, the first day he got back, he came back in tremendous fashion. And then yesterday he was, so, but he still played well. So it's tough. Like, I know where you're coming at, like, just like Steph says, but it's just very, very tough to do it like that.
This is the only reason I was asking you the why
Yeah, but you see the
question.
thing about it also. Go ahead, Queen. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I just want to get back to JJ's comment. I'll just use this
Yeah,
one.
he said.
So a lot of times I feel like the reason I ask why, because a lot of times people want to change things, but it's not because the team is going to run better. Right? People want to change things because they have a favorite player that they want to get more shots, or this guy can do more things, so we need him to do more things. But do we need him to do more things to be a better team? So if that's going to make us a better team, then absolutely we can do it. But if it's taking shots away from players who are better, I just have a little problem with that. Like JJ said early, Grimes deserves more shots. To me, it's not about deserving. If you want to say, let's get Grimes some more shots, because that's going to open up our offense more. That's going to open up the driving lanes more. I can understand that. I can get with that. But a
Right.
lot of times what I'm hearing is not
Right.
about
Right.
winning. It's just about, this player is playing 30 minutes. He deserves more shots. That's that person's role on this particular team. There's many people on different teams throughout the NBA who can do more, but that's not that their role on that particular team or at this particular point in their development, right? So that's why I was asking about Grimes. Like, do we want him to get more minutes because he think he's going to help the team, or do we want to get more minutes because I don't know,
We just
he
want
can
to see
do
his
more?
pretty shot.
Right, he can do
I
more.
don't think
so
it's
we want
more
to
minutes with me. I think it's more
more shot.
opportunity. I think it's
But-
more
but
opportunity.
I
Right,
understand,
more
but
shots.
because it makes the team better, or because he got a little more in his game, and I just like to see that. Do you know what I mean? So,
Right, I get you.
yeah. So I'm all for.
But you see,
Go ahead.
I was just to Eddie C's point also too with the whole RJ thing and him being featured on the second unit. I mean, it don't always has to be RJ because, like I said earlier, everybody knows who the ball is going to be when it's on the second unit, and that's going to be RJ. You understand? So if we could have Grimes in that lineup, you know what I'm saying, and feature him a little bit, you know what I mean, it takes off some of the pressure even off of RJ a little bit. As you said, Queen, open up the lane for IQ. You know, it has iHeart crashing the boards a little more, right? Making more offensive rebounds. Hopefully he could make a layup. You understand? Because I see the boy putting like 3-4 layups and miss.
Let me get this, Steph.
You know, so
I need RJ.
that's all I'm saying.
I need RJ to do that because I'm grooming RJ to be that guy when Julius Randle and Brunson are no longer here. You know what I'm saying?
No,
RJ
no,
is
I'm
22.
not saying RJ not going to be the
Brunson
guy.
is 26.
I'm not saying
so
that.
I need him.
Eddie.
I need him to get all of that. I need him to get all of that one-on-one action from now until then, so that when his time comes, it's not anything. He's seen it all already. He's seen all the defenses that come at him.
Who's
He's
this?
seen everything. RJ Barrett.
RJ.
I need him to be that guy on the second unit. He needs to be groomed to be the best player at some point in time for our franchise.
Nah,
Yeah, but you're
Eddie,
going to
see
tie
that
them
ship.
out, though.
That ship has.
Eddie.
Hold on, that ship has sailed about RJ Barrett being the best player on this team. I think that sailed, but I will agree with you.
In the future, you don't think in the future he's
no.
So who's better than who's going to be better than him once Julius Randle and Brunson are no longer here?
If the
But
right
why would they no longer be here? They're only like 2 or 3 years older than him. Why would they no longer?
Because Julius Randle's contract is up in 3 years.
But he could be re-signed though. It's not like he has to be off the team.
He's going to be 30 something when he gets re-signed, right? He's going to be 30.
Oh, people get re-signed at 30 all the time.
Sooner or later, if we don't hit on another draft pick, he's going to be an integral part of this, and he needs to be groomed for that.
Hold on. This is not RJ Barrett's personal playground. We're not gonna just we got to get him shots to groom him for another time. No. We need RJ Barrett right now to take shots because we need him to win for us right now. We're not grooming him. We're not grooming him for the future. We're grooming him for right now. And as you play year after year, you get better. You know?
So you don't think part of the reason why he's the one that's on the second unit as the main cog in the second unit is for that reason? You think it's just because so
I'm gonna
what's
tell you
the
why I
reasoning
think
behind that?
I'm gonna tell you why he's in the second unit. Because he ain't gonna get enough shots with Brunson and Randle in that first unit. So you put him in the second unit, you can feature him a little more, and it also lends some offense to that second unit that only has IQ, who can score. So I think that's why they're running him.
But those both are not wrong. Like what you're saying is right, and what I think I'm saying is right. I think he's being groomed to become one of these days our best player. There's a lot of.
Do you hold on? Let me ask you a question. You've seen RJ Barrett play.
Yes.
For almost 4 years.
Yes.
Do you see any stardom? And I'm not banging on RJ Barrett. I'm the main one who said I see RJ Barrett 17 to 19 points a game, 5-6 rebounds, 4 assists, play good defense. That's a hell of an a career, and you need them type of players on the championship contending team. I'm not banging on RJ Barrett at all. Do you see RJ Barrett as a star in this league on a Tatum, and by star, Tatum, who else? Even Jalen Brown, who some may or may not consider a star. Devin Booker. You see RJ Barrett getting to that level?
But it doesn't matter if he gets to that level, Steph. He's our player.
No,
He's
that's not the
22
question.
years old.
Do you think he's going to be a star in this league?
Let me say something real quick.
So we're going to be the worst team in the league. We're going to be the worst team in the league once his time comes, really?
Listen, it's fluid. It's fluid.
Exactly.
What I'm saying is, it's fluid. The Knicks, I'm telling you right now, I would put my house on it. The Knicks are not looking at RJ Barrett as a franchise star player. They're just not. 3 years from now,
okay.
I understand what you're saying. If Randle is not here, you got to bring in somebody else. Because if you putting this franchise on the back of RJ Barrett, it's going to be some long years ahead for the Knicks fans. I'm sorry.
You're looking towards like free agency. No. You're looking towards like I'm looking towards maybe somebody in the draft. I'm looking towards somebody in the draft. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, that we're both not wrong. Like I don't see him like a Jason Tatum. I do not see him like a Jason Tatum.
Listen,
then what are you grooming him for?
If they grooming
because I need him to be an important part of this team in the future.
Well, that I agree with. He's an important part of the team right now.
That's what I'm saying.
No. What I thought I heard you say, and maybe I'm wrong, was that we're grooming him to be the star player on this team for when Randle's contract is up, he can step into that role. And listen, maybe he can, but I ain't putting none of my money on that. Not a dime.
Okay, that's I'm not the hugest RJ fan, but I'm kind of like leaning towards that a little bit. Like there's people that's always been on RJ Barrett. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of them. But yet last show I told you, I think he's gonna, this second half of the season, I think he's gonna be phenomenal. And he's scoring 20 points per game, and I think that's gonna jump up to 25 points per game. And he's gonna be doing the same things that every other thing that he does. Gets his 5 rebounds, gets his 4 assists. His scoring is gonna get up. He's learned. Like I thought too less of him, but I should probably put more faith in him. And you probably should too, Steph.
No, I believe in RJ Barrett. We're talking about star level. I just don't see him on that level. And scoring 25 points when there's 2 other people ahead of you who are taking the brunt of it and you're playing off those guys is way different than scoring 25 as the number 1 guy on the team.
So then that's why he's being put in the second unit, to where he's the only guy that is looked to be the star in that second unit, and he's being groomed to be the best player. At some point in time, he's going to take over that role. Obviously, if he gets help via trade, via the draft, via however you want to do it, and you add another piece to him, I'm looking forward to RJ Barrett being here for the next 10 years.
All right. Okay. Anyway, we tend to get off topic. We were talking about ISO balls. I really want to stay on the topic, but go ahead real quick and let's try to stay on topic.
So the signs are there, right? That they're not grooming RJ for none of that stuff. Because when you're grooming players for that to be here for the next 10 years, you give them the max, like the John Morant, like the Trae Young, those guys, you give him money to keep him here, right? RJ, if they grooming RJ for anything, it's to make his trade value, to up his trade value.
They didn't give Randle the max. They didn't give Brunson the max.
They're not grooming him to be anything. They come here to play a role, okay? And
they're the stars of the team.
They didn't draft Randle and Brunson, but if you heard over the summer, you never heard Randle being included in trade package, right? But you did hear RJ being included in trade package. They're not grooming him to be here for the next 10 years. They want to up his trade value.
Obviously, RJ's the one being, because he's 22 years old. You know what I'm saying? He's the one with the most potential out of the 3 that are on the team.
No.
Come on, Eddie. See, he got more potential than Brunson. Brunson is 25 years old. Let's stop acting like Brunson is.
He's 26.
Even if he was 27, He's still not in his prime.
Don't do that, Steph. I love Brunson. Don't do that, though, Steph. Come on.
Don't do what? You think RJ Barrett is going to have a better career than Brunson?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But
So then what are you saying?
did we even have Brunson to trade?
Anyway, all right, let's move on. John Levy, I appreciate the super chat. RJ is a good player, but not a star. All right.
Queen, drop the link
Yeah.
for Ashley Inc. for Wiz. Wiz want to
Okay.
comment.
All right. Anything? So basically, anybody else got a chance to comment on the ISO ball offense?
Yeah, everybody's good. Okay.
Everybody commented on it. All right, let me drop this for. All right, let's see what the chat has to say. He's talking about IQ, waiting for his shooting percentage to catch up. RJ will never be as good as Brunson. Almighty Finesse, RJ is what he is. JB and Randall have issues, but they've been solid. E. Gibson. Pamela Willis, thank you for joining us. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. And when I drop the link, if you want to come on and give your take, anybody who wants to come on and give their take, you can. So right, RJ is going to be the right role player. Wow, Eddie C, that was like the hot take of the night. I might have to take that out and put that in as a separate video.
Yeah, I have to clip it
as a feature.
Yes, RJ still has supporters that think he can be a star in this league.
But you see, the thing was that star in this league, I was just talking about my team. Like, I was just talking about my team and what we have on our team. And right now, like, we can say draft, we can say trades, but they're not on my team at this point in time. So I can't even look at that like that. Like, I need to focus on what I have. And he's doing the right thing by him. Featuring him in the second unit is better for us, is better for him, is better all around. Once that said player comes in, like, we didn't have Brunson 2 years ago. No, nobody knew who Brunson was 2 years ago. This year, I'm one of his biggest supporters. Things like that happen, but like I said, I was just focused on the team at hand, not looking past what can be on the team, because this is what we have right now.
No, I agree with that. But you started talking about when Randall is no longer here.
Because I know there's going to be a point in time when, like, I tend to believe after the third year, he's going somewhere else. He has a team player option. And he did that because he wants to be a free agent. And at that point in time, the way he's playing now, he might have some heavy shooters out there and where he can go where he wants to go. LA, Dallas, it's been said he would like to be in certain places. So, I'm just looking at foresight, what can happen.
Right. I'm not saying Roy Rosado, I'm not saying he doesn't have a chance. Things happen all the time. Ben Wallace, who played for the Pistons, was drafted, was it in the second round or maybe even undrafted, played like 2 minutes a game his first year in the league and wound up in the Hall of Fame. There's a chance. The question is, are you putting money on it? I'm not. And Pamela Willis, is that Pamela Willis from West 4th Street? Let me know if that's you, Pamela Willis from West 4th Street. Back in the day, we used to get down. Said that she thinks RJ Barrett is a good to great role player. Shout out to Jay Boogie. Everybody know him as the podcaster's favorite friend.
Salute,
And he also
bless my brother.
He also did my dope intro video for those who didn't know or who was wondering who Jay Boogie is. This is him. And when I asked him to do it, I don't think I even knew what was involved in a song. I just thought, he just gonna put something together for me, really quick. And he says, "Sis is almost done. I got the woman coming today to drop the vocals on the track." And I'm like, what? Like,
Sister.
I know. I was like, he took this like real serious. And the video you have that you guys see, the first part of it, which is mad dope, and I'm trying to figure out what I could do with that, is not even in the video. So I'm gonna try to do another video with the entire song, because it's only probably another 10 seconds or something like that. So you can hear that first part, which is just fire. Anyway, welcome, J Boogie.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Hope everybody in the greatest form of health. Y'all got to excuse me. My voice is up out of it. You know, that means I'm putting in a lot of work. You know, I don't, excuse me. I'm putting in a lot of work, a lot of music, you know what I'm saying, doing what I got to do. But shout out to the chat. Blessings, health, and happiness to everybody. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat, the greatest form people it is in the league. Ain't nobody better than us in this orange and blue, and ain't nobody better than us in this blue and white, because we always stick by our squads at the worst times. That's why when they rise up, you know what I'm saying, we feel so much good about it, you know what I'm saying, because we've been there through the downside. Now we up with everything what we got going on. New York right now is on fire in the sports, the whole world of sports, you know what I'm saying, from the basketball to the football to the baseball to even the hockeys, you know what I'm saying? And the only reason why they like that is because they get that big push from everybody that be in the chat. So if it wasn't for y'all in the chat being the biggest people as it is, them people wouldn't know how to, you know what I'm saying, do what they do, man. But shout out to the Queen with her show, and shout out to all the panel people, everybody rocking, doing what they do. And happy 23 to anybody that I haven't mentioned it to you. It's great to see you getting up out of last year. A lot of people think it's about the new year. It's about the year I just left. You know, I made it through another year of life, you know what I'm saying? So
Yes, sir.
we all here together, man.
Definitely. And you know, Eddie C, and for anybody who come on this show or who watch this show, sometimes I could be a little strong, but it's nothing but love. Ain't nothing but love, Eddie C.
Yeah, I love you, girl. You know.
Oh, okay. It's nothing but love. Sometimes I can be a little strong in my take.
Sometimes, Queen.
Yeah, sometimes, especially if it's something I don't understand. I'll be like, what? Oh, what? Are we serious right now? But I don't mean anything by it, Eddie C, or anybody else who's watching or who comes on the show. I don't mean anything by it. I could just be hyped sometimes. That's all.
Everybody know when Pam Grier came around, Jim Brown and Fred Williams, they had this, couldn't say nothing. So
But AJ Boogie, for the throat, get some honey and lime, man. Honey and lime.
Yeah,
and
I'm
you should be good,
stuff,
man.
but I'm gonna make sure I do exactly what you're saying for my brother. How you doing, my brother? How you feeling too?
I'm blessed, man. Can't complain, man. I love that tribute to your moms, yo. It really touched me, man. For real. So salute to you and your career, and you know what I mean. Yeah, man. You got a dope album, man. It's really inspiring, and just keep doing what you're doing, brother. Keep doing what you're doing.
That song was actually going to be on my Real Street album, but you know, when I was looking at it, it had so much basketball content to it throughout my life, and then the last decision for me to just put it out there like this, you know what I'm saying, while basketball, because the lady who Stephanie was talking about that done the vocals on her song also done the final vocals on that. If you notice, she had orange and blue in her hair, and she had an orange and blue dress. You know what I'm saying? I had the Knicks towel, I had the Knicks jersey, and we had the basketball. And you know what? It's basketball, so I'm just gonna give it to the people. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, life is good, man. Life is good.
Appreciate it. Wiz, first time on the show. Welcome.
Nobody
West Coast.
My yardy brethren.
Yeah. 8 o'clock
my
over there on the West
brethren.
Coast.
My friend.
I don't know if you popped on to comment on the ISO ball offense or something earlier in the show, but it's your time. What do you have concerns with?
I'm going to comment on 4 things in 30 seconds each. Okay, so I'm going to be rapid fire and 4 quick things. The ISO I'll leave for last. I'm a rookie on this show, so I'm going to first defend my rookies, basically, because Deuce and Sims are true rookies. Either of them have played probably more than 30 games total in minutes. So I want you guys to give him a fair chance. When RJ was struggling sort of every season for 20 games, you guys are like, he's going to come around, give him a chance to get acclimated. When Grimes was getting his defense up and not shooting, everybody's defending. Okay, no, Grimes, he's going to come around. He's going to start hitting the shots. Deuce and Sims have the offensive skills to do that stuff, but they need time, they need minutes. So just a thought at it real quick. Give them a chance. Don't dismiss their potential is much more, and their ceiling is much higher than it is right now. So that's how the win. That's why I'm doing it real quick because those are my boys. I'm in the Deuce and Sims Hive. I'm following them on Instagram, and I'll be talking to them, telling them, yo, I got to come on the show. I got this queen. That's she's kind of hard, so it's gonna be tough if you come on the show. I got to talk.
Oh, I would not. I would not be tough
But
for
she's
them.
fair because the queen, like I said, is always right, wrong. She's logically correct. I want to change the narrative on the 9-man rotation thing. He said the narrative on that is because we went to 9-man, we started winning. I think it's too simplistic. There are too many variables that cause that change. One is we got rid of 2 really awful offensive players and guys who, especially Rose and Fournier, who should not have been in rotation. So we took people out of the rotation completely. We could have kept 11 and replaced them with whether it's Swift or anybody else. But you did go to 9, and I'm going to say the 9 is accurate. Yes, one keep a tighter rotation, but it's transition from who the players were and their roles changed the dynamic of the team itself. So that's a factor that caused the winning. The opponents we're playing changed as well over time. Brunson's chemistry with everybody else and everybody else gelling better is a factor. So as those things all mesh together, that caused the change in the team getting better. So we can't just pinpoint and say, oh, Tibbs is a genius, give it to 9-man and now we win it. So I want that narrative. I mean, yes, it's a factor, but it's not the true narrative of why we're winning. I want to throw that out there. I mean, I know you're going to rebut me right away. For sure, Stepher and those other guys.
No, not at all. I mean,
third thing is whoever says no trades, no move, stay pat, is not looking at the fact that we have 3 players who got to go. They just have to go. We have 2. There's value there to get from them, and I'm talking about the Cam and D Rose, and in my opinion, Fournier. And I'm not going to throw the possibility of the 4th and 5th guys being iHeart and my boy Obi, my smiling gentle giant, who may have to roll. But 3 of the 5 of those players should be moved to get value, whether or not it's a replacement or it's more asset to look for a superstar. So a trade should occur before the trade deadline, so we don't lose Cam for nothing. So we don't miss the fact that D was expiring, and someone may have want something from him. I think Dallas would like him. Give us a little something. We 3-way trade, 4-way trade, anything we want to do. Let's get something for those guys. I think Fournier really needs to be moved, not because he's not valuable and very important, but I do think Grimes and IQ have killed the possibility if they play at their top levels, minus injury, he's obsolete right now. And the defensive aspect and liability, now that he really sucks effectively, he's just not at the elite level those guys are. So we got to just move on and get the money off the books as well, potentially another expiring contract to be ready for KP or whatever free agents are in. Sorry for the background noise. I mean, coffee bean, and it's only 8 o'clock here in the West Coast, in LA, so we just started. But I got the caffeine so I can talk to Queen and be energetic. I can't go with the Queen around. I found an ISO ball. Sorry to be so long. I don't be so long with it. But the ISO ball, for me, I'm not saying give those other guys shots. I'm saying move the ball so Randle and Brunson can get better shots, and maybe RJ. That's
and
all.
Work less hard.
Exactly. So so it's not about them getting less shots. It's about them getting better, more efficient shots, and also less work for them, and to throw the other guys off and trying to double them or isolate on them.
Right.
That's why I'm saying about the ISO ball.
Right.
That's ball movement, not giving somebody else shots. I'm okay with that description right now because it's working. We're winning. Never going to dismiss winning. Winning is the bottom line. But get the ball moving so those guys don't start watching and say, oh, we're going to be ISO. Oh, ISO is going to be happening here. And teams going to watch those tapes, those videos. And by playoff time, they're going to have a solution to those problems. Moving the ball, just like Golden State, they make sure you don't know what's going to happen because who's going to take the shot at one point, how they're going to get the ball moving, but also players got to move. The cuts, the slashes. I mean, I want to see Princeton University type offense, backdoors and stuff where guys are not playing from purely skill or athleticism because we don't have that, but from intellect.
But you got to have those type of players. Steph Curry ain't somebody you're going to put on an island in isolation. And I'm not saying he can't do it. He can.
Right.
You got to play players to their strengths. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying Curry can't play like Brunson in terms of getting his own shot. He can. I just think you got to play guys to his strength. But I don't have a problem with moving the ball and moving your body. But a lot of times when I hear the fan, there's what I hear. And I feel there's a little undertow sometimes. So like moving the ball, moving the body is code for this offense is ugly. I really don't want to watch it. I want something more prettier, whether we win or not. Or code for I need my favorite player to get more shots because he's out there working hard. So sometimes when people are saying it, I'm listening to what they're saying, what I think they're saying underneath it all. Because nobody talks about it in the context of winning. Like you talked about it just now. In the context of winning. Okay. You moving the ball, you got Randle and Brunson getting their same shots, but they're getting it on the move. Now when they get it, they can make a quick move. It's easier for them as opposed to trying to score against a set defense. Like that's about basketball. That I can hear. I can get with that.
Exactly. And finally, by the way, I was a West 4th Street junkie as well, but way before your time, probably before even you, J Boogie. I'm a little older than you too. The last thing I want to touch on is the last narrative.
Yes, thank you.
Exactly. You're a young man, you're a baby, J Boogie. But by the way, Queen, for a moment there's someone on the panel prettier than you are, and normally there isn't. But for a few moments, we had a princess there in J Boogie's arms. That I'm like,
oh yeah.
How's that possible?
Shout out.
So, the last thing is the narrative about teams, about runs. You know what? I think that narrative, because it happens to everybody else, I never sit down with the fact that because it's always happened, it's going to continue to happen. We could be the change that makes that not be a standard procedure in the NBA. You can always talk about, but it's been happening for decades. But you know what's been happening for decades? Guys only doing 2 points and drives and dunks. All of a sudden, this other team, they call, I think, the Warriors, who started just hitting 3-pointers only, and they changed the entire second sense of the game. We could be the team with Tibbs' defensive schemes and our players to stop the idea that once you have a big lead, there's no coming back from that big lead, and not because teams have runs and we're going to be like, once we have that lead, you are not going to score enough without us getting at least one basket to stunt your run. You're not going to get no 10 straight run from us, and we're not going to score at least 2 or 3 baskets. So when you see in double digits or more, I'm talking about 15 or more, game over. Third quarter, game over. That can be a narrative that can be changed by making our team go, we're not going to be the status quo that it's going to happen because of the NBA or there are guys who are going to start getting hot. If you start getting hot, then I'm going to call up my boy Rick Mahorn, and he's going to punch you in the belly. He's going to elbow you in the mouth. Somebody's going to get hurt because I got to stop that run. I don't know how you're going to do it. I don't know if you want to put a hit on somebody, but I want to stop that narrative that you get a big lead, it's possibly going to lose it. We got to be the team to do that. And because our offense is not as potent as it can be, then we got to use defense to do it. And I'm talking about maybe a little elbow, a little, Dennis Rodman pull somebody's pants down. Whatever you want to do, just do something to change it so that these guys don't go on runs of 10 or 12 and knock a 20-point lead back to 5, and we're struggling to try to win the game. Because in the playoffs, it will affect you against an elite team like, don't give KD or Steph the ball and you're down by 2 points because it's over. So that's final. That's all I'm going to say. Sorry for the long.
Okay. That's okay. All right. Let's anything else on the ISO board before we move on, because this one we was talking about, mid-season concerns. How far can this team go this season, given the fact that we blow big leads, we're playing guys too many minutes, we have an ISO ball offense. We didn't get to this one, and we're not going to be able to get to it, and that's what we need is already on the bench. I want to talk about, do we need to upgrade this roster now? Like, do we really need to make a trade this season? And I'm just gonna go first, and I'm gonna make it quick. I don't necessarily think so. Unless you can get something that's gonna make us better for this season and the next few seasons, then make that move. The Knicks are not going to the championship this year, right? I don't want the Knicks going out there going for a LeBron James or going for somebody because they trying to make a run this year to the championship. You know, where you're selling off assets and you're getting too excited. So I feel like if that type of trade is not out there, let's go into the offseason. Let's stand pat go into the offseason. Now, if you can make a small trade that's going to make this team better, do it. Do it. But I'm not for trading off assets to get guys as if we're going to make this big run this year. I'm step by step, piece by piece, bringing somebody that's going to help us this year and hopefully somebody that's part of the plan for the next few years. So in other words, don't just be making trades just to make trades. Make trades that's going to help us now and in the future. That's where I'm at. But I don't have a monopoly on the panel and on the chat. Everybody is welcome to disagree with me. Do we must we make a trade this season? Why and why not?
I think we do.
Now,
I think we do. Go ahead, Boogie. I've been talking. You just got in. Go ahead, bro.
I know right now the league is on notice that we are here. They know that we are here, and they know anytime they play us, it's going to be a hard fought battle. But we don't have the league on notice as far as we're in championship mode. That's a different scenario right there.
Right.
Me personally, if it's not going to be something that's going to benefit and really help this team, you know what I'm saying, for years to come, I'm not looking to force it and chase something that, you know what I'm saying. I'm not looking to rental car when I'm an owner of a car. I don't need a rental space, you know what I'm saying. And nowadays, just for the rental space, you got to give up too many access. And I don't know from the access that I'm going to get up for a rental space, is it going to be worth it after that rental space is gone for what I don't gave up, you know. So me personally, I want to wait until the draft. This the year right here that I really want to make a move in the draft. When the draft comes, I want to make a move to potent up this team. With all the draft picks I got, and some of these teams are not getting ready to get rid of none of their marquee players right now because the league is so wide open right now. Anybody really has a chance to win it. You know, I know Denver's starting to look like, you know, they might be the best team, you know, but still in all, in a 7-game series, it's a lot of teams right now that can win. So I don't look for anybody to make a major move to break up any of their top players right now. So we can stand pat. But I do believe after the season, when some of these people realize their team is not like that, and they want to break up and start over, you know what I'm saying? We already done started over. You know what I'm saying? We're not starting over no more. We're going to continue on growing and adding on to our team. So I think me personally, I would like to wait for the draft to come, whereas I have a chance to get a player in the draft and I also got enough picks, you know, around where I can make a move for somebody that want to break up a marquee player from their roster that realized that they wasn't going to win nothing this past year and they ain't going to win it the next year. Maybe that player can help us, man. But yeah, man, that's just how I look at it right now. I don't want to rental nothing right now. I'm good with what we got going on because this is shocking to me. Should be a shocking to a lot of people that we're 5 games above 500 and we were 5.5 from first place. And we ain't even been healthy all these times. And we still haven't got to the point where we know how to really close out and put our foot down on the neck on certain games that we should have won. We're still growing. But right now, we're in the right position. We're heading in the right direction. So I don't look to do nothing major because these guys are not going to give up nothing major. But come this draft this year, I'm looking to make a move.
Now, don't get me wrong. You're right, Jay Boogie. Those guys don't usually spring free, those big guys, in the middle of the season. But if they do, it may not be the right timing, but you got to hop on them if one of them were to become available. I'm okay for the Knicks to make a move. I don't want y'all to think I don't want them to. I just want it to be one for now and the future. I
Right.
just don't want it to be something for just this year.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. But I agree with you. And don't give up no capital, even if it's a small move. Knicks got 11 first-round draft picks. I'm okay if you use them to make these smaller moves, but don't use so many of them that when a big fish become available, we don't have the assets. And I think the front office is smart enough to know that, though.
Okay, I have two perspectives on that, Queen. First, I agree with both of your points there, but there are two things that I also want your narrative about when a big fish becomes available. We can make a big fish available because we have the capital to get somebody where a team is going to be like, what are you going to give me? Detroit, unprotected. Washington, unprotected. Milwaukee's unprotected. One of your own protected. Maybe two of your own protected. Cam Reddish, Fournier, D Rose, Obi Toppin, iHeart. I'm just saying there are assets there that you could probably go to a team and go, yo, Denver, you know Book ain't coming back. Or something.
Phoenix.
We got somebody. I was on Phoenix, yeah. We can always go to somebody and go, first of all, he signed with CAA, and we got the connection. We know the inside story. We know his uncle. We know somebody, and the word is, you guys know the words always get around somehow. Actually, Jay Boogie always says, yo, Randall, call your roommates, right? You know somebody who can go, I'm just saying, if you guys want to lose him for nothing or for less next year, you could. Or here's what we got to offer. And we take it, we make an offer they can't refuse. We go, hey, this is Don Corleone. I want to talk to you about a deal. You know what I'm trying to say? And they go, oh, snap. That's a great offer. But even more so, you don't take this offer, I guarantee you're going to lose him for less because we know what's going on. I'm just saying.
No, I hear you. I said that when it came to before Murray became available. I said it happens in business all the time. People are not looking to sell, but then somebody just comes with an offer they can't refuse, and they decide they're gonna sell the business. So you're right. Anybody else in terms of making a trade this season? Your thoughts on it?
I thought not too long ago you said that the championship window was just opened. So
yes,
I was with you there. I was with you all the way there.
Oh, I still think is.
So then let's just do something to get us over the hump. We have so many assets. The most important, these two picks that are in this year's draft, right? So obviously those are not going to be put in play when we ask for a Caruso, or if we try to get a Vujacic, or if we try whatever move people want to do, right? But let's do something. Like, let's just not stay pat and think just because we're gonna have a guy that's gonna help us this year that is not worth it. Because let's say, for example, you do bring in a Vujacic, right? And we start playing better because now we have a solidified center who can score on the second unit, which is our Achilles heel. We get into the Eastern Conference Finals, a la the Atlanta Hawks. What did the Atlanta Hawks' next move be? Bring in Murray. That's still unsettled, right? Like, nobody knows if that was. I thought that was a horrible move for them, but it's, people can say that's still up in the air. We don't know how that's going to go yet. Things could turn around. They're playing a little bit better, this and that, right? So for you to be able to get these guys and to look forward to becoming a championship contender, you have to show people that. You have to be in the game to play the game, to win the game. So we have to try to get what we have going right now and try to solidify this team and try to better this team. So then when we get into the playoffs, we don't get bounced in the first round and be the laughing stock again. We want to win a couple playoff series. I want to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. So then when next year rolls around, I could say to myself, you know what? I am a big piece away from winning this all thing.
Well, let me ask you a question, Eddie C. Isn't there step by step, piece by piece? So for me, if the Knicks played in the first round and lost, to me, that's a step based on not even making the playoffs last year. So now you look at your team, you're like, all right, we lost in the first round. This is what we need to do if we can, so that next year we can get into the second round. So I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you. I just don't want the Knicks to go out there making moves just to make moves for this year. I want them to think about this year and also think about the future as well. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
I'm there. I'm not with you because I already when the season first came along, I said we were going to win 50. I said we were going to be in the 6th seed. So I had faith in my team. Now, a first round loss, that ain't going to cut it for me. Not this year. We already did that 2 years ago. Last year, we already know it was a debacle. But the year before that, we went to the playoffs. We were a favorite in the playoffs, the 4th seed, right? And we lost to Atlanta, who ended up being in the Eastern Conference Finals was supposed to be on their way to getting there.
But but can I just say something real quick? There is a difference between getting hot and making the Eastern Conference Finals and being a championship contender season in and season out. Atlanta got hot and got to the Eastern Conference Finals. They're not a perennial championship
Playoff
contender.
team, right.
They're not in that conversation. They just got hot at the right time and they went to the Eastern Conference Final, and which is fine. I'm not taking anything from them. If the Knicks were to get hot right now and go to the Eastern Conference Finals, I'm not going to be fooled into believing that this team would be good enough. We just got hot. There's a difference between being hot and being able to look at a roster and be like, this is a championship contending roster.
But, okay, that's fine. They got hot. But what I'm saying, when they got hot, they said we have the pieces to make it there. And they try to solidify that by getting another piece, which is what the Knicks would probably try to do if they get into the Eastern Conference Finals. I put my name on it. We get into the Eastern Conference Finals. We giving up assets to get. I don't want to put this name out there, but I think he would be a great pickup, and I think he'll immediately put us in contention for the championship next year. LeBron James. I think he's like the perfect type of player that will get us there. I know that's a big name. That's a big name.
That's a reach.
Can he be available? He certainly can be. Is he going to take us to where we want to go? He's a piece, obviously, for everybody. But if we're able to keep RJ Julius Randle, Brunson, and add this type of player to the team, we're definitely in contention to win the chip next year. But we got to show him that we're able to do that. Like, ain't nobody coming if we go to the first round and losing.
What's your window, though?
That's a
How
great
many
question,
chances
Queen.
you got?
Great question, Queen.
The window would be the next 2 to 3 years. If we get him next year, it'll be that year, the year after that, and then hopefully the year after that. But
yeah,
2
it
years
would definitely be a compressed window. You would definitely have to get it done, and that's interesting. We had the same conversation 2 years ago when we was talking about Dame. That we could be in contention, but we would the window would be small to get something done. I prefer a little larger window, but I can't, that one, wow.
When do you want to chip, J Boogie? When do you want to chip, J Boogie? When do you want it?
I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you, people, man. We're not far away from somebody saying, "Yo, I need to go over there and follow Jalen Brunson and go to the Knicks."
Yeah, no doubt.
We're not far away from that, and
True.
Our record shows and tells me that. I don't know about anybody else, but our record tells me everything that's what's going on. Our record tells me that we're in control of our own destination. We calling our own shots. We're not in thirst mode. Reason why I say we're not in thirst mode, there is nobody that's in front of us that made a major move. You know what I'm saying? That jumped over us and got to where they at. All right, with Cleveland, they went and got Donovan. They was better than us last year. Milwaukee, Boston, Philly, Brooklyn, those teams was better than us. So they didn't make a move, you know what I'm saying, to hop over us. The thing is, we didn't make no move, and we hopping over other teams. You know how many people were sitting on the sideline waiting to say, you know what I'm saying, because we didn't go get Donovan, they should have went this. They was waiting for us to fail. They should have got Donovan. They should have did it. They didn't do that. Now look at them now. Blah 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 blah. No, look at us now. We didn't get them, and we playing better than what people think we are playing. So to me, that tells me that we're in control. Whereas we're not in thirst mode, as if we didn't get Donovan and we still like 7 games up under 500. Now we're gonna do a crazy move because we got all this capital and go and blow it up and go get any or somebody else. We're not in that position to do that. We're in a position to be patient and wait. And when somebody has something that open, then we can make our move. Whereas we don't have to overpay because we already don't prove that we ain't go get a legitimate all-star in the eyes of the league, and we still right here above 500. So that's how I look at it. We're not in thirst mode, you know what I'm saying? But if something comes about, whereas we ain't got to break ourselves, you know what I'm saying, and tear everything down, you know what I'm saying, then good. Let's go get it. If I can go get somebody and just be using Obi, Evan, McBride, a couple of maybe 1 first-round pick, some second-round picks, you know what I'm saying? I'm good with that to add with what we already got. You know what I'm saying? Because that means we ain't jump out the window, and we still got a lot of things to play with to bring something else in the future. But yeah, my window is 25. Always said 25, but you got to give it time and space, you know what I'm saying, for them to build this team around who they want to build. And that's Brunson. They're going to build around Brunson. I'm telling you that. If you don't know that, believe in that man's showing you that I'm here. I wanted to be here. I'm poised. I'm not scared of the city. The city hasn't swallowed me up. I'm a man for the team, and I'm about my business. And that right there is going to play a big part. He's the type of player that when they get ready to make a move, no, they're not making a move without him. They're going to bring him in that office and let him sit down, you know what I'm saying, and figure out and talk to him, just like they do some of the other players, you know, major team. They don't make moves without bringing some of these guys in there to figure out what they want to do. Brunson is that guy, man, and I'm happy we got a point guard finally, but right now we're sitting in good position.
I will say,
go ahead, Queen.
Real quick, I will say to Jeffrey Clafter and to a lot of fans, when you say a long-term sustainable winner, some fans, I don't know if I'm in this camp. Like there's some fans that say, for example, a Booker became available or somebody like that accelerates your window almost overnight if you were able to get a player like that. And then there's some players that be like, oh no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Let me pick somebody older. Let's say somebody 30. Somebody who's 30.
PG-13, for example.
Healthy. PJ is over 30 though, right? Isn't he like 32 or something?
Yeah, he's over 30.
Let's say PG-13 was 30, no injury history, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would go for that, even though he's 30, and you would still have like a 4-year window. So my point is, I don't think the window has to be 8 years long. I don't think the window has to be 8 years long, but 2 years, nah, that's to me, that's just a little too tight. But it doesn't have to be a 6-year window. If you can get somebody real young, like Philly was able to do, and they have like a 6-year, 7-year, 8-year window of being championship contenders, by all means, take it. But a 4-year window, I'm okay. I think I'm okay with a 4 or 5 year window. I think I'm all right with that.
But when you say 4-year window, are you looking at championship in 4 years, or we contend over the next 4 years?
Meaning that your team is good enough to win a championship in those 4 or 5 years before that window goes. There's no guarantees. But your team is good enough.
My only pushback to a trade now is we have assets that we probably need to move now in order to get any value. So I still think that Detroit and Washington picks are going to probably not convey till 2025, 2026. Worst case scenario, of course, they convey it to second round pick in 27, which would be sad because that means they're basically worthless. We have these second rounders that we're not going to use because even if we draft, we're probably going to get Dallas on our own this year. That's 2 first rounders. I think we have 2 second rounders as well. We're not going to draft 4 rookies, right? And all if we do, we're going to put them in G League. and they're not gonna make the squad because we're looking for players to fill their current roster. And unless we're doing like a 5-player for 2-player trade, there'll be no slots in the league for those rookies for the next 2 years. So again, I'm not considering that any real value to retain when we could go for a player. So I'm not saying rush the process and make this trade quickly. I'm saying maximize these assets when they're at the point where people are not realizing that they are of value to somebody and may not be of any value to them 3 to 6 months from now.
Right.
I mean,
I just don't think we're gonna get a lot for Obi and a Fournier and a
but
Cam. We might get
Cam,
some help.
Obi-
We'll get some help, but I don't think we're gonna get. I don't think they could be headliners for a big trade, but I think they can help us get some
I
rotation
honestly
pieces.
but
I
offset
wouldn't
salary
trade Obi
And
for
Queen,
no. I
I'm
wouldn't.
Go ahead.
offset
I'm with
salaries
the small. I'm with
Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm with the Queen. I agree with you earlier when you say with the small trades. I rather do something small to bolster the bench. There's a couple names that's been floating around. The OGs, the Gary Trents, the what's this young man named from San Antonio? Oh God, I just had his name before.
Keldon Johnson. Those guys are gonna
Not
cost
no,
now.
no, 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 not him. No,
McDermott,
he's
I
a
think he's
bench
talking about
player.
McDermott.
Those are not small trades.
No, Richardson.
Josh, yeah.
Josh
Oh,
Richardson.
Josh Richardson.
Yeah.
Josh Richardson. Something small to bolster the bench, help us score, help us defense. Nothing too big, by giving away a lot of assets because cause we need some help off for that bench.
But why you don't? I'm devil's advocate. Why you don't want to? If a big move was to become available, why wouldn't you want to do it?
No, Queen, I'm not saying that. If I don't like to say big fish, I don't like that word.
Mhm.
If a big player was to come around, sure, let's go get him. I have
Okay.
no problem with that. But I don't see the front office because, as you were saying earlier, all these big guys is locked up for right now, and I don't think
Yeah.
nobody is going nowhere for right now. So I
Yeah.
think the move is just to get it's just to blaster the bench, right? And have a competing bench because when you look at it, our bench been getting outscored every night, and we having to have Tom Thibodeau stagger the minutes, to rotate some of the starters with the bench and with the bench with the starters, So I feel like if we could solidify our bench a little more, I think we could make a push even to the second round and build from there. But if a big player was to come along, I have no problem with Wiz idea of giving up certain assets, the unprotected and the 5 players. I have no problem with that.
Right.
But here's what even more so though. Let's say KP, we can make them be available because KP, I didn't think about it until the past 48 hours how much KP could help us. But KP, a signing trade for KP, we need Fournier's salary. We may need D-Rose salary. We're going to need Cam's salary and probably Obi's salary to fill in for salary fillers. And then the assets where Washington wants back their pick, they wouldn't mind getting one of our picks for, like, say, 2025. They probably wouldn't mind getting Detroit's unprotected and Milwaukee's unprotected. And who knows, maybe even our 2023 or Washington's 2023, and we only take one rookie this year. This way, to get KP, it sounds like a lot, but it's assets where we get these guys off our books. We get a player like KP that's going to really impact our game. And we give up some assets that, again, may not convey, or whether they convey or not, it's going to be overkill for us to draft all these players. I mean, again, we throw away things that are not going to be maximized because our coach and our front office are not going to utilize them the way we need to utilize them right now. And yes, you could wait for a player to become available, but I'd rather make it happen than wait for it to happen. That's just how I roll. I'm like Jay Boogie. I'm making my songs now. I'm not gonna wait for a record deal to come along. I'm cutting that deal now. I'm putting it on a fire track like you did with your music queen. I'm putting it out there, and people are gonna be like, "Who is that cat? Who is that guy?" And the buzz is on. making it happen rather than wait for it to happen. That's just how I roll.
I just wanna say this. I wouldn't get my hopes up. Us trading away Evan Fournier. I don't think there's a lot of interest in the league at this point in time because of he has 2 years left on his contract.
Right.
Now next year when he's an expiring contract, he becomes more appealing as an expiring contract. But for now, he has 2 years left on his deal. Hence the reason why when we needed somebody to play, he was put into the lineup because most likely he's going to be on this team for the rest of the year. Unless something dramatical happens where we need to put him in there because of a bigger trade. But nothing like these. I'm going to attach Fournier to Cam to get something done. I don't think that's feasible. Now, Cam, on the other hand, he isn't playing because he holds value, at least in the 2 second round form. And if he, for some reason, gets hurt, then we don't get anything back for him. So Evan Fournier, to me, is somebody that most likely is going to stick on this team. I even think Derrick Rose might be somebody that might go before Evan Fournier does.
Yeah, but I'm talking about if you have a $30 million contract to fill, you need Rose and Fournier to do it for the guys we want to get rid of, right?
If I have a $30 million contract to fill because I'm trying to trade you somebody, you better look somewhere else. Because I'm not taking Fournier in a deal.
No.
Because
Fournier
just to
wouldn't
make
be
the
the dream,
contracts
though.
work, the contracts work for the trade. Like you better
we're
try
gonna
to
be giving
find
them
17
what they
million
want.
somewhere else.
If they want Obi and Juice and 3 picks, that's what they want, and they want to make the deal get done. And again, it could be a 3-way deal. We need Fournier's contract to fill it, and they can just pay him out, buy him out right away if they don't really want him, or they can flip him to somebody who actually may want him. But he's not the key piece in it. It's just the formality of getting what you want. That's what we did last year.
That's what I said. If it's a big deal, then that's different. But we were talking about if we were trying to put Evan Fournier in a trade, he's not tradable on his own.
Right, exactly.
That is a big deal, and that is a big deal because I'm not in the same boat as Steph is with Obi. I think Obi should be traded in a big deal. I don't think Obi should be traded for whoever. I think he's a piece that needs to be held for something big.
Like what? Like to headline a trade or be?
No. He needs to be in part of a trade where he is where he is a major asset going back. Not like, let's say for example, like the Indiana Pacers that want Obi. Like I'm not giving you Obi just for Duarte. You know what I'm saying? You have to give me Duarte, and you have to probably give me a 1st-round pick, unprotected or something.
For Obi Toppin?
Yeah, I'm not doing it. You can do it. That's fine.
I would
That's fine.
Obi, but
that's fine. Like and you saw how critical I was of him last game, but it doesn't. To me, he still holds value. He holds a lot of value. I'm not doing it.
When he's gone, Duarte, Obi, I love Obi. I mean, I'm talking about. I love Obi like a fat cat loves candy, right? Like a fat kid loves the cake. But he's gone. I'm gonna diet. I'm gonna be like vegan, and he's gone.
And I don't mind Duarte too. Duarte could help our bench. We need the shooting. I mean, it might be more guards on. It might be more guards on the bench, but we need the help on the bench. So if you could get Duarte in that trade, I don't mind.
Straight up,
I don't mind.
Not straight up though. Like, would you do it
not straight up?
Like,
just like what he said with the unprotected pick and Obi, and you have to give us a 1st-round, first round unprotected pick and Duarte for Obi.
Nah, stop. Okay, all right. Okay, yeah. I mean, I hear you guys who are really, really high on Obi Toppin. To me, this is not a situation where Obi is really, 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 really good, and the only reason he's not getting minutes is because Randle is in front of him. Obi is limited defensively and rebounding wise. And I'm not banging on him. I'm just talking about when you're talking about value and you're talking about getting back, what are you giving to the other team? So you're giving somebody who can hit the 3-pointer. I think he's hitting it at a decent clip this season, and he can run in transition. He's not going to defend on or off the ball, and he's not going to rebound for you. But yet, I want you to give me a player and a first-round draft pick. I mean, I just think that
there's other things that he adds though that are just not, pairing him up with Tyrese Halliburton is a great 1-2 punch. That wasn't mentioned. Having him in the locker room with a young core of kids, him being the oldest one and still being young, it's a great attribute to have. So there are other things that are valuable that are not just
I'm not giving up a first round. I'm not giving up a first round draft pick for locker room presence for a 24-year-old.
Actually, what year first?
So then so if you're the Indiana Pacers, hopefully you'll draft your power forward of the future.
Yeah, hopefully you will.
Oh, what year first round? Could be a 2025 pick. Would you go for if they offer you?
No. If they're gonna give that to me, I'm taking it.
Right.
I'm just saying
2023 or 24, but 2 years from now, 3 years from now, first rounder, maybe that could be talked into, negotiated, and then we get them like 2 second rounders, something like that. But yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna give us Duarte and the first rounder.
They're not gonna get. Indiana's not gonna draft the power forward of the future next year. There's only 2 of them in the draft, and they're gonna be gone by 15, 16, most likely.
So a 2023 first round and Duarte for Obi. Dang.
I mean, it could, there's room to negotiate, but it's just not going to be a straight up trade for me.
Okay.
All right. I hear you.
Well, like I just said, Queen is always right, so I think you're wrong because the Queen is always right.
No. I'm just. If they're giving us a player in a first round draft pick for Obi Toppin, I'm taking it. I'm running with it.
Oh man, I'm God.
I'm running with it. I'm just saying. These teams, they do their homework as well, and they know what a player brings and what a player doesn't bring.
I'll be leaking out and running like Obi.
And Indiana is a defensive-minded team with Rick Carlisle over there. But unless the front office, goes over his head and say, listen, we're going to bring him in, and he may not be a great defensive player, but you're going to have to play him.
They've been salivating over Obi Toppin for the past 3 years since every time that he plays against the Indiana Pacers, that boy shows out. They've been salivating over him for the past 3 years, and he fits. He fits to a T because, like you said, they're a defensive team, so they can mask his deficiencies. And as a person that drafted Obi Toppin and knowing the difficulties that he's had playing for us this year. Just for the kid himself, I would love to see him in Indiana.
Yeah.
He'll be such a great player over there.
Will it be amazing for justice for him to actually get
great
back?
Is a stretch,
him
but I hear you though.
Back together from the same draft. People saying he made a mistake getting him not drafting Halliburton, and he and Halliburton get back together, and they become like the 1-2 punch of the league, like the Magic and Worthy. It'd be like crazy, wouldn't it? That would be wild.
So one of the things we were going to talk about, and we already two hours in. Obi going at the trade deadline or the off season. I think this is Obi's last season on the Knicks.
Oh, damn.
I think if he doesn't go by the trade deadline, I think he goes in the off season. I just don't, unless they fire Tibbs. But I don't see him as a Tibbs type of player, and I just don't see him as somebody that's going to get minutes on a Tibbs type of team. I think this season, to me, I feel like Tibbs then just went a little gangster. Like, if you're not playing the way I need you to play, you're not playing. That's Rose, that's Cam, that's Fournier, that's
gangster.
Like you just not going to play. This is the success of this team is based on this. And these guys right now ain't it. In his opinion. I'm not saying we agree with it. In his opinion. So I don't really see Obi getting a lot of time.
Well, I would say
I feel say hold on, J Boogie, 1 second.
Go ahead.
I feel say that Tom Thibodeau is gonna play out his contract. I don't think he's gonna get fired. I think he's gonna go until his 5th season. I really, really do. even though they say he's going to be 65 or 66 coming up this year or something like that, I just feel he's going to play out they're going to let him play out his contract. I don't see him getting fired. That's just my opinion.
I think so too.
If we make the playoffs, God forbid, he ain't going nowhere.
I know.
You're not getting a top 10 pick, David L. So I basically saying keep him if you're not getting a top 10
No.
pick.
In a upcoming draft, not so, but like it has to be he was drafted 8. So like Duarte was drafted 13. That's why it's not feasible to me as a franchise to do something like that straight up.
But you don't think but you don't think once a player gets into the league, their value resets based on what they do in the league?
Definitely.
So your value can go up or down, especially if you've been in the league 2 or 3 years. I don't know if draft position has anything to do with it once you've played a few years in the league.
Grimes right now is a lottery pick right now. He's reset to a lottery pick right now. Grimes right now. Grimes, if he was coming out in the same draft, I would take him at number 14. He would never make it into the 20s. IQ, top 20 easy. So yes, they can reset. So
I think it does. It does, but a lot of it has to do.
Wait, hold on. Boogie wanted to say something, and Stafford said, "Go ahead, Boogie." And then,
Oh no, I was good. I just was going to comment on Tom. You know what I'm saying? In the famous words of Ric Flair, you ain't gotta like it, you ain't gotta love it, but you just gonna have to deal with it because it's the best thing going today. That's one thing he's showing us that I'm gonna do it my way because I need another check. So I'm the only one that's gonna mess this up is me. I'm not gonna have them do it. So y'all sit down. I'm gonna play this because this is working. Whether we like it or not, but it's working. And we all know it's gonna run the guys down. But hopefully we get a couple of bench players or something that can keep them guys and give them some valuable rest. Because we don't have nobody on our bench that can give guys valuable rest. They got to hurry up and get back in that game. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's why, like y'all already talking about it. Small moves, I'm good with it. Make a good couple of small moves here at the deadline. I'm cool with it. But as Stephanie is saying, if something major comes across and it's right in our hand, in our bag, do not be afraid to grab it. You know what I'm saying? But just don't go running, chasing,
right,
all over the place.
Right.
Because when you go chasing, running, then they know you thirsty. Okay, I'm gonna hit you in your head. But see, you can't hit us in the head because we don't show that. Once again with Donovan, we might didn't get him, but we ain't 7, 8, 9 games under 500, and we in contentious. And you know what I'm saying? We here. Julius Randle. We here.
Right. True that.
That's exactly it. Like you can't hit us over the head with I think Duarte has been in discussions with the Knicks, right? For Obi. We can probably say that those are the rumors, and you can say, is that a small deal? Would you do that deal, Boogie? Would you trade up straight up Obi Toppin for Chris Duarte?
I wouldn't do it because I already know that Cam is gone. So if Cam is already gone, I'm not getting ready to move Obi for another guard.
Right. That's the issue for me.
The
position.
Have something bigger than that.
Right.
Give me what's the other dude coming off the bench?
Matherin.
JJ, or what was his name?
Jalen Smith. That's who I want.
I might think of something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I'm getting some lift. You know what I'm saying? That can back up. In multiple areas on the wing. You know what I'm saying? But I can't give away a forward. You know what I'm saying? For
guard.
A guard / small forward. It doesn't.
Yeah.
And I know I'm getting rid of Cam.
Right. Yeah, that's for me. That's the issue for me too.
That's why I wouldn't do it.
It's
the
position.
A lot of reasons.
But Jalen Smith.
Yeah, that make a lot of sense.
Yes.
I would. Yes, because Jalen Smith, in my opinion, is a Tibbs type of player. He's going to rebound. He's going to play defense. He's not shooting the three as well as he can, but he can put up a three here and there. And how many minutes do you need behind Randle?
Not for Obi. And that was the other thing I was gonna say when you
God.
when you said
Wow.
that the value of the player readjusts once he gets drafted. That depends on the situation because there's a lot of teams in the league that say, even us as fans say, if Obi would have had the opportunity, and he's even showed it when Randall is not around, he scored over 40 points per game. He's grabbed over 10 rebounds. He's done these things already. If he's put in a better situation, he's able to flourish. So you always have to. I keep that into account as to the value of Obi Toppin, not just as what he's putting up in numbers at this point in time on our team.
Yeah, true that.
Okay.
Schemes do make a player sometimes, but personally right now, my only move I'd make right now is package something for Kuzma. It looks like a rental, but I think if we win, he will sign, and he will sign for 20 or less because he wants to win and he wants to be in New York City. That's who I really like personally.
Let me say this real quick. There's a difference between having an all-star season and being an all-star, a perennial all-star.
True.
There's a difference between dropping 40 in one game and being somebody that you can count on game in and game out. There's a difference. There's players you can look throughout the history books that's dropped 50, that's dropped 45, that's dropped, and they've been in the league 1 or 2 years. If you want to survive in this league, you got to have a skill set that you're consistent with game in and game out. And I think Obi does, in the sense that he's somebody that could stretch the floor vertically. He can, for the lobs and the transition baskets, and he can hit the three. That's what he does. He can add other things to his game, but right now, that's what he does. I don't think there's anybody looking at Obi and said, "Oh, he scored 40 points in a game." I think he might be able to get to that level.
Mm-hmm. Obi ain't got no fight anymore. It's over for Obi Toppin, y'all. Whether you realize it or not, I'm gonna tell you why. Because at the end of last season, coming off, Julius had his worst season, and everybody thinking he might be up out of here. Obi turned up them last few games. He was amped up, like, he was searching and looking for something. Like, I might have a chance. Let me turn up and I can play that role. But when the season came in, and you still turning up and you doing what you're doing, and then all of a sudden, Julius turns up and sees that. Now, before he got injured, he already went into a slump. You know what I'm saying? But I believe he got shut down because Julius ain't going nowhere. I'm back being Julius. You know what I'm saying? Now you don't come back off your injury, and I know it takes time for you to get back in place with your injury, but I don't even see his happiness or his motor or nothing. You know what I'm saying? He ain't even smiling really. You know what I'm saying? None of that. I just don't see it in him no more. It's like I'm not going nowhere here. I'm shutting down. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? If you want something from somebody on your team or you want a spot, I need to see you every day. In practice, we going at it. I don't care if we get in a fight and the media here. I need that spot. But it's no spark in Obi's game no more. The only spark he had was the last few games of the season and a couple of games at the beginning when he was getting highlights before Julius was turning on. When Julius turned on, it was like, he ain't have another level to raise his game. So if you don't have other levels to turn up, then you know what I'm saying? You only one standard. I need guys to be on multiple levels in this game because you see them night in, night out. And like Queen said, it's a difference. You being an all-star one night and you being an all-star every year, or you dropping 40 points one night and being able to drop 40, you know what I'm saying, 3 out of every 4 or 5 games. It's different than them type guy. Not saying I want that from Obi, but you got to be able to, your levels got to be up. And I ain't talking about just for a highlight dunk or, you know what I'm saying, on a breakaway. I need you to dunk on somebody.
Yeah, I mean,
it's funny that you say that, J Boogie, because
oh, go ahead, sir.
No, it's funny that you say that, J Boogie, with the whole Obi and Randall thing, because when Obi was balling last year and Randall was in the doghouse, when Randall came back, Randall was like, "Yo, I had to go ahead and get in shape because these young boys is coming."
Mm-hmm.
So you see that he had to elevate his game because he see Obi was coming right behind him, right, and he could be shipped out anytime.
Right.
So what Julius did when right, went and got his body right, got more slimmer, went and adjusted his game. And where's Obi right now? Can't even see 10 minutes on the court.
Well,
It's sad. It's sad.
But I think part of that is because the team has changed significantly since Obi was out. Like the Knicks just went into another mode of playing, and he just doesn't fit. But JB, I just want to make sure I'm hearing you right. So basically, what you're saying is he dropped 40 and he did all of those things because Randle wasn't playing, and maybe he was excited because he thought, like, I'm about to take somebody's spot. And then once Randle turned up and said, nah, if you want this, you're going to have to come for it. The fight just wasn't there. Is that kind of what you were?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. You know, you can't, just because you snuff somebody with their hands down don't mean, you know what I'm saying, y'all not gonna have a fight. You know what I'm saying? So, he snuffed him, but he didn't move him. You know what I mean? So when Julius turned up like he just turned up to another level, he couldn't move no more. And then he got injured. You know what I'm saying?
So maybe he was discouraged, you think? Like, I ain't gonna be able to get this spot. That's what you're saying? Like, maybe he was discouraged a little? I mean,
and that was like the same thing I said the other day about Randle too. You know, Randle, when Obi's not there, Randle is like, yo, full bore, just going at it. You know what I'm saying? Getting 40-something minutes a game and just doing him. And when Obi come back, all of a sudden he start having a bad game. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then he's not shooting he's not getting it as much minutes as he was getting before. So his numbers ain't the same. So I was telling you last episode, like, we need to nip it in the bud sooner or later because this ain't really going nowhere. And right now I'm with Randle. Right now I see that I could try to win a chip more so with Randle than waiting on Obi to come.
True that. And so when you're talking and J Boogie talking also, what you guys made me think of, my analogy is from a financial point of view. There's depreciated assets and there's depreciated assets. Like Obi's like cryptocurrency last year, and it kind of crashed. Randle's like real estate, and consider steady incline or increase, right? Or like gold. Right. So if you have all the skill set and the experience and all the factors that Randle has, he's going to constantly improve and appreciate over time. Where Obi's kind of is depreciating, and the more it gets exposed sometimes, the less value it has. Just like even the picks we have right now. Right now, the Dallas pick looks really good. But if we don't make the move, if Dallas have an injury, let's say Luka gets injured, that pick's gone this year. So right away it goes from being a guaranteed first round, top 10 protected right now for this year. All of a sudden he gets injured, they're going to get that pick. So that pick won't be conveyed this year, maybe not even next. So it's a matter of, are our assets depreciating or appreciating? I think Obi's appreciating. I think Cam is depreciated. I think Fournier's going to keep depreciating. Rose is depreciated. And all of our current picks right now, the second picks, are depreciated except for maybe the Dallas pick right now. So again, do we sell when they are value or when their market is crashed? And I worry that it's going to be crashing on most of those things that I just mentioned. And I think we got to make that move, not because we need to, because we need our player, but because those assets need to be utilized when they have value. And these things are depreciated as we wait. So let's move them out of the way and get something for them. Even if we got to flip it next year, or it's a rental like Kuzman to expire the contract and get the cap space to get a bigger star in the open market next year or something. So that's my philosophy.
And but can I use your philosophy when it comes to the young guys? This is the same. This is the same thing I was saying when it came to trading the young guys, and people were like, "Oh, but we don't know who they are yet. They could become stars." I said, "Yes, they can, but they can also level out. It happens all the time." Yep. So when you're a front office and somebody comes across your desk that you could potentially trade for. And you're saying, no, I don't want to give up this young player. You better hit on it. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of fans who feel like, oh, we can just wait. And, if he doesn't become that, he doesn't become that. No, he doesn't become that. But you lost out on player A 2 years ago because you bet that he would. So it's the same thing with young guys. When you're in the front office, you're making that decision. Is this guy gonna, become a star? Is this guy gonna level out? And you don't have a crystal ball. You don't know. You making educated guesses, just given all of the information you have from scouts and this, that, and the other. And that's why I'm saying people like, oh, we can move this guy and they become a star and we lost that trade. No, but it can happen the other way around. You don't trade a guy. He doesn't become something. And now you didn't put the franchise back a few years. Could have been a little further along had you made that trade. That was the conversation we had with Mitch. When Mitch was like in his second year, oh, we can't trade him. We got to steal in the second round. He about to become a star. That was the conversation we had with RJ. Oh, he got the same stats as Tatum and this and that. He's going to be a star just like them. I'm like, yo, he can level off too. I've seen guys level off.
Yes.
Queen, we just had this with Donovan Mitchell and Quentin Grimes. We passed on Donovan Mitchell so we bet a hit on Quentin Grimes.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Right. Because Quentin Grimes can become a star, but he can level off and just be a 3-and-D player as well. You don't know. That's why it's a gamble when these front offices making these moves. They gambling because you don't really know.
And I think this front office right now are not the gambling type. These guys are
they're very conservative.
Yeah, treasury bond holders.
Very
Not guys who are going to buy some cryptocurrency and some random stocks. They want blue chip stocks only. They want treasury bonds.
And you saw what happened when they try to jump out the window and try to sign players to better the team. It didn't work for them.
And who was that?
When they signed Evan Fournier and they got
the Noels,
and it didn't. That wasn't what they needed to do. And now we got back to our defensive identity, and now you hear names like Alex Caruso. Like they're not looking for top-notch scorers. They're looking for defense.
I think Fournier though and Kemba were panic buys. I don't think those were logically thought through process. They missed so many opportunities that they're like, we got to get something. Okay, let's grab that. And they just bought a quick thing. And that was dangerous.
I think they took a chance on Kemba. I think they took a chance on Kemba. Yeah. Thought Kemba had some type of juice left in him, but it was just disaster with him. Yeah, it was just a disaster.
Did the same thing this year too. Dallas did the same thing this year, and worse than we did. So even Dallas messed up. Because they cut him right away. They paid him off.
Yeah, I think he signed with Milan or something. Mm-hmm. So this is something I heard in the chat. And anybody on the panel, if you have to go, you just go. It's okay to hop on and off.
Right. I'm about to head out, Queen. I just want your panel is.
Blessings, Wiz. Guidance and protection, Wiz.
Take it easy, Wiz.
No doubt.
Thank you guys, man, for the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump off.
I'm gonna be listening in though.
10 minutes.
Like I said, the Queen is always right. And even when she's wrong, she's not correct. Peace out, everybody. See you in the morning, Queen, Monday morning for recap.
Yes, I will be there Monday morning.
All right.
This is something I heard in Freezy's chat. And so I just got to say, I'm so off of the over seeing how the team is playing now with Brunson. I'm so over the development of the youth guy. Like I'm off that train. So when people talk about it, I don't really have anything to say about it because I'm kind of off that train. I think we're in a different direction. That does not mean that you can't have young players in your rotation. Philly has a young player and they rotate. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just talking about when you look at our team, people want to talk about we're not going to get past the first round because of ISO ball. We're not going to get past the first round because we're giving up big leads. I think a big reason why we may not get past the first round is because our roster is so young. Like we're counting on young guys to perform in those positions. And when you look at these perennial playoff teams, they have young people, but they don't have them in those top positions. They have them in positions where they're coming in, they're giving you what you can, but winning and losing is not based on them. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. But for us, we counting on Grimes. We counting on Quickly. And
they're all 22, 23. RJ 2.
Yes.
Mitchell Robinson 2. Isaiah Hartenstein 2. Miles McBride 2. You got something there.
So, are you guys okay with bringing in proven players? And if so, are you concerned that you're going to stunt the growth? I hear this a lot. I hear this a lot. That if you bring in a proven player to help you, that you're stunting the growth of the young players on your roster.
Is it to help the bench or is it to be on the starting five?
Either
Let me
way.
just
I
ask
mean,
that.
an upgrade is an upgrade.
Either way?
Either
Okay.
way. Because I've heard people say they wouldn't bring in a star player because that player is going to take Grimes' spot. So they don't want to bring in a proven all-star level player because that's going to take Grimes' spot and stunt Grimes' growth. And I'm sitting there like, wow, so it's about Grimes. It's not about the Knicks. But
Right.
anyway.
Yeah, and you know what, Queen? I have no problem with bringing in somebody that's proven as long as it contributes to winning. You know I'm a big Grimes guy. So if Grimes has to go to the bench for the bench to get better and for the team to get better and for us to get more wins, I'm all for it. I don't have no problem with bringing in somebody that's proven. I don't have no problem as long as it's conducive to winning, and that's what we want. Winning. If we are winning, I have no problem with it.
Those exact words that Emmanuel quickly said the other day. Yo, I don't care if I'm starting, if I'm coming off the bench, I do whatever I got to do to help the team win. You best believe Grimes
Facts.
feel the same way. Both of them guys feel the same way. And it's to me, you're not going to stop the man's growth. You know what I'm saying? As far as him, you probably stop him from being a starter, but you're not going to stop a guy like Grimes. You know what I'm saying? Because he's the type guy that doesn't get bottled in his head, doesn't let things bother him. I just slide over. He's a coach's type kid. You know what I'm saying? So that's not going to stop or hinder him. And especially if we getting something that's going to strengthen the starting lineup. And like Staff just said, he's able to go to the bench and strengthen the bench up and bring that up like that. You know what I'm saying? That's a power move, man. Sometimes you just got to have somebody that's better than you. And sometimes you got to be okay with somebody being better than you, whereas I could do something else. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, Grimes is a good ball player, all the way around. You see, we hit on Grimes, but we ain't hit on Grimes as far as not trading him to compare him for the rest of his life with Donovan. We hit on Grimes because if somebody else is doing what Donovan can do and Grimes can do what he does and don't have to be considered or compared to that right there, then that's a hit for Grimes because he's going to always play his game. He's not going to try to beat nobody else. He's going to shoot his shot. When the shot ain't there, I'm going to pass it, I'm going to cut, but he's going to give you defense every day. He's going to come and play hard every game, and he's going to come with the same attitude, a positive attitude, you know what I'm saying? So they're the type kids you like. It's not going to stunt his growth because we get somebody else that can come in and be better, you know what I'm saying? And just let me, while I'm on this topic, you know what I'm saying, because I hear a lot of be saying about the comparison to Klay Thompson. I'm the one that said the Klay Thompson thing. But when I said the Klay Thompson thing, I said it being like, it's other people that can be compared to other people, you know what I'm saying, in this league. Grimes can be compared to somebody like Klay Thompson, you know what I'm saying? Not saying that he is Klay Thompson or better than Klay Thompson, but you know what I'm saying? You fit Grimes in that system over there, he can play like Klay Thompson. But can Klay Thompson play out of that system that he is without no handles and nothing like that? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to throw that out because I've been hearing a lot of say-so about the comparison to Klay Thompson. It ain't right. No, I'm not saying that he's actually that man, but in similar ways, he could be like that guy. The defense, the catch and shoot, he doesn't dribble a lot. Those are similar ways to one another. Not ever saying that he'd be Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Keyshawn doesn't think it's going to be much change in Grimes' game, whether he's on the bench or starting. He's still going to get like 20 minutes off the bench. All right, Almighty Finesse is he really wants OG Ananobi on this team, even with the injury. That's the only thing giving me pause about two things: the injury history and what it's going to take to get him. And we got to make sure we got enough left for when a Booker or somebody becomes available.
I mean, if they
You know
if we
what
could get
worries me about OG, man? I don't
Wait,
see
let
him with
let
a
let let
bag.
let, let Adji say what he's
no,
going to
let's
say,
just say
and then
real
you go
quick.
Eddie C.
If we could get OG for the guys who are not in the rotation right now and a couple of picks, I'm all
He
for
has
it. But
been.
if it,
He
it,
has been.
it but no, but I'm saying no, if we can get him for guys who are not in the rotation, like the Fourniers, the Cam Reddish, but I'm not giving up any of the top 6 or 7 guys for OG Ananobi.
Wow.
That's
It's
gonna be
Because
a
of the
tough sell,
injury or because of
but
the talent?
because of the injury.
Oh, okay. Because I was about to say,
No, I
hold
mean,
it.
because
And,
he's
and
not available.
Queen,
Hmm.
you got to throw in this factor too. You Jerry, he doesn't like the Knicks, and he been fleecing the Knicks for years.
it'll be
But
So
this
just
you
is
like
a
got to
but
dealing
throw
this
with
is
that.
a
Danny
new
Ainge.
this is a new front office though. They know what it is. They
Yeah,
know what they're gonna give up and what they're not going to give up. And they know that
yeah.
OG is a piece, but he not that type of piece. He not a Donovan Mitchell
Right,
level
right.
type of
No, but what I'm
type of
saying,
piece.
you Jerry now, you Jerry as a GM, he is going to try and get as much out of us just for that player.
Stafford,
I,
I
I,
understand what you're
I,
saying, but I'm just saying the Knicks are smart enough to know where the line
I,
is. He
I
could
get it. I get
try.
it. I get
I mean, we can't, everybody, when it comes to Danny Ainge and everybody's like, oh, like PTSD. The Knicks front office know where the line
Yeah, but
is.
but
Yeah,
that's
man. I'm
it's
sorry
not.
if I have that, yo, but it's scary when I think about the Andre Bargnani and that trade and the fleece that we got. So, I gotta think like that. I'm sorry, but you, Jerry, and that guy over there in Utah is two
But
scammers,
this
man.
is a new.
No,
But
but
this is a new. They
it's not.
wait. Hold on. They're not doing anything any other front office is doing. Trying to
They
get them
I
the
know,
exactly,
best
I
that they
know,
can for
exactly,
their players, and it's
I
up to the
know,
other
exactly,
I
front
know, I
office.
know,
So
I
we
exactly.
got a
know.
different front office. I'm not too concerned about that. But Eddie C or Adjay, one of you guys was
Hey,
talking.
No, let,
Queen, real quick, I want to
Yeah.
say good morning to y'all. I'm getting ready to hop off. I got a flight to catch. I'm on my way to up top, you know what I'm saying, in the morning. So I got a flight to catch. I got to get my stuff,
Safe
myself
flight,
together.
man. Safe
Looking
flight,
forward
safe
Yeah.
to getting
flight.
on the block
Travel
with y'all.
safe. Travel safe.
Yeah,
Guidance
no
and
doubt.
protection, my brother.
All
Appreciate
right,
that,
Boogie,
man.
be easy,
Y'all have
man.
a blessed morning, and I'll talk back to y'all soon.
All
all right,
righty.
man.
Peace.
All right, man. Be safe.
Um, Eddie C, you were saying something?
That what worries me about OG is that I don't see him with a bag, like an offensive bag where, people. Well, now everybody in the panel, I think we're on the same wavelength where I'm not giving the same asses that I was given for like a Donovan Mitchell or
No, no.
anything close to
Yeah.
something like that. The thing is that you are dealing with a savvy general manager, and you have to be cognizant of those types of things. That's why, the Knicks as an organization, you see them deal with the same type of players that have the same type of respect for each other. The general managers respect the Knicks office, and the office respects the general manager of certain offices out there. So you have to keep that into account when you try to get these players that these guys are tough negotiators, man, and you don't want to go up against what I'm saying, tough negotiators depending on the situations. And that's
But the
just how it
Knicks front,
is.
wait, hold on. You can't be scared. You just got to know where your line is and how much you're willing to give up for a player or not. And if they go over that, you just move. In order to be fleeced, it takes two to party. It takes two parties for that to happen, not just one, right?
Exactly.
So this is a different front office. They know where their line is, be able to say, nah, that's too much. I know what we're trying to do. That's
Right.
too much. And
That's what I'm
and
saying.
and yeah, and to walk away. But
That's
I
what I'm
wouldn't be
saying.
afraid
It's
to
like with me.
negotiate.
It's like with me. If you negotiate, like, okay, if you're negotiating with me in a fantasy league for a basketball player, like, you got to go in coming in there that I'm going to be tough. Like, I want this, 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 this. And if you really, really want that player, you're going to give it up. And if not, I'm just not going to deal. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And
That's
there's
it.
other people, that are more lenient. You know, um, there was Ashley went off the board, but we were in a football league, and Ashley was giving up people out the gazoo just because he wanted, certain player. I want this guy, so yeah, I'll give you Derrick Henry. You know what I'm saying? So it just it depends on who you're dealing with.
Wasn't Leon Rose Banyani's agent? Leon
That's
Rose
what I
from
was just about to say. Otherwise, just brought it up in the chat. He was a
Right.
Oh, did
CEA
he?
client
Okay.
also too with Leon Rose. Oh my gosh, boy, man, I tell you.
B. Willis, I hear you, but to me, it's about winning games. I want to see these players grow, something I ain't seen in a while. You want to see them grow even more than you want the Knicks to win? Or you want to see the Knicks win and them grow in the process? Because I'm good with that. We trying to win and we got some young players on the roster and they're growing as we're winning. I'm okay with that, but I'm not going to be happy just being able to say, remember RJ when he was that small? Now look at him now, and we losing every year. Like, I remember him way back when he first came into the league, and we losing, but you see him grow up. Nah.
He all grown up now, but we still
Right.
losing.
Almighty Finesse, you're higher on OG Anunoby than you are on Booker.
What?
And Ashley Inc. said, and I ended up winning the fantasy football championship.
I have to
what?
congratulate. He went up against me. He went up against me and he beat me.
Oh God, because he went after his guy.
But I'm gonna put an asterisk on your championship. We'll see how it goes next year. I had Cincinnati Bengals on my team, and everybody know what happened. So I didn't get any points for any of those players that played. But congratulations to you, bro. You beat me.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us.
Wait. Let's
All
go
right.
back. OG better than Booker? Like Queen. Did some
just leave it alone.
He might be a better. I mean, if you want to say he's a better defender than Booker,
listen, man,
that's fine. But Booker is that dude. Booker is that dude, and I love Ingram too. Ingram, come. All right,
Brandon Ingram. Now that's a more feasible. Now, who do you like more between Brandon Ingram and Devin Booker?
Booker. Only reason I say that is because Ingram
that's tough, though, huh?
We're not talking about skill sets. To me, I like players who've done it in big games. Ingram might be able to do it in big games.
Clutch.
I know they went to the playoffs last season and he played really well, but I've seen Booker do it more than I've seen Ingram. And so that's why I'm giving Booker the edge. I'm not just looking at skill set.
Is he still injured?
He's still injured. Ingram is on 2 of my fantasy teams. He didn't miss like the.
Oh my God!
You want to talk about Anunoby? You don't want Anunoby because of the injury history. Ingram is always out.
No wonder CJ balling like that, yo. CJ dropping all type of ridiculous numbers.
That team is so scary. Like we're gonna be chasing the Pelicans for years, bro. Well, at least until CJ McCollum retires, because that team is just so stacked.
Yes.
And the Lakers
are balling right now.
The Lakers are so bad, they might get a lottery pick with their stacked team. It's so ridiculous.
Right.
But I think they're like 19 and 22 though. They like what, about 3 or 4 games out of the play-in contention, so they could still make it. I think they're like 19 and 22.
The Lakers, I hope they do.
Yeah, I think they could still
get
make
a lottery pick. No matter who they get, they're gonna get.
I was just checking, B. Willis. I was just checking to see where you at.
Captain Ambulance.
They had we about to get out of here, but when Rose came the first time, they had a meme of Rose. Rose has finally arrived in New York City, and he was coming in an ambulance.
Lord have mercy.
All right. Any last words while we get out of here? I'm gonna check in with the chat.
Man, let's just win tomorrow, man. Let's just win tomorrow. Beat up on Detroit. Let's get a blowout win so we could get some rest for to go back to the Garden to play Toronto, because I think it's an early game. I think it's a 1:00 game. So I just want to blow out tomorrow, and that's it. Peace and love to the chat. Salute to you, Eddie, Ajayi, Queen. You know what it is already. It's always love. And peace and blessings.
All right.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Eddie C, Ajay, Staffer, and all of the ones who came through. I'm gonna have to drop the link a little more often. Got an opportunity to speak to Kerry Cox for the first time.
Yeah, this was a nice show.
Wiz for the first time. This was Jay Boogie's first time on the show. Did I miss anybody? Nev came through. I appreciate him as well. I think we covered
Special
everybody.
Saturday edition.
Yeah, special Saturday edition. So I'm gonna drop the link more often. JJ said he's gonna hop on soon. I would love to hear from Sherwin. I would love him to drop on. Anybody. Almighty Finesse. Like some people I want to drop on because I don't get it. So I would just want them to just talk a little bit about their takes, just so I can understand. I'm not here to push back. I'm just trying to understand. Anyway, salute Nick Nation. I'm not gonna go through everybody, but a few. It's all love. I'm not gonna be able to get to everybody, but David L, Nick Yak, East Blue, Drew, Sherwin, Kerry Cox, of course, Edwin P, Jerrell was in the house today. Almighty Finesse. Oh, I didn't even see this one. John Levy, I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Talk that talk, Kerry. Nothing but the truth. Yeah, Kerry Cox was on fire. He believed that those three guys are good enough by themselves. You don't even need a star. Just put somebody around them. Wow. He came in hot. Josh, who's to say RJ won't be traded for a star? Who's to say? Or even Randall.
We sitting here thinking Cam's going to be traded. Cam Reddish. It might be RJ. I mean, RJ or Obi might be gone before him.
Yeah, the only thing with RJ is that his the team
that's a poison
taking him on has to take on his new contract number, and the Knicks can only take back his current contract number. So that's gonna be hard.
He's not going nowhere, bro. I know you don't like him, but he's not going nowhere. That contract is a poison pill, bro.
For now, next season.
For now,
I think it's
like
just
RJ. I like RJ. What are you talking about?
He's talking to Josh.
Oh, Josh. Oh,
okay. I'm definitely not opposed to trading RJ Barrett for a star. Like I wanted to trade RJ Barrett for Jaden Ivey way back when. Because it's just certain things that I was looking for in the team. I thought we needed a point guard. We didn't have Brunson at that point in time. But it has to be.
If we had got Jaden Ivey, I don't think we would have been 25 and 19.
Yeah, but our foundation would have been a difference. It would have been different. Like we probably would have been in the lottery,
right?
But we would have Jaden Ivey, and somewhere else to build.
Oh God, I will be depressed. Here we go with another losing season to the lottery again.
Yeah, that would have been going in a different direction. we would have if we would have got Ivy. Now you're talking about going young, and everybody say I don't like young guys, but there's certain guys you do sit on and you wait for them to develop. So if you got Ivy, you sit on that. You got Ivy and Cade Cunningham. You got a Chet Holmgren. You got a Banchero. You sit on those guys and you let them marinate. You don't trade them. Let them bake and become who they're gonna bake. Who they're gonna be. I just never felt like the guys we had were those type of guys. That's the only difference. Not like I don't like young guys.
Yeah, it's different.
And Randall would be definitely getting traded.
He would have been gone.
He would have been Yeah, he would have been gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
This would have been a team. It would have been Ivy. It would have been Grimes. It would have been probably Cam. It would have been Obi. It would have been Mitch. You know what I'm saying? We're going.
Nah, I don't think they would have invested in Cam.
But you know what I'm saying? Like if we're giving
young players like that, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, no doubt that would have been a totally different direction.
IQ
on the team, yeah, definitely. Anyway, I appreciate you guys hopping on. I don't usually come on Saturdays, but I didn't do the morning show, and I missed you guys. So I said, let me just pop on and do it. And Stafford, what were we talking about? 45 minutes, right? This is the longest show we've done in a while. We was like, we just gonna hop on. We're gonna just talk for like 45 minutes. That's it. Anyway,
so just snip that part. Just snip that part that you said. Put it on Twitter, and let it rock for like a minute, and then probably people would click on it and go to the show.
I think there's a few. There's a few segments in here that I can actually get out of this video, which is something I want to do, because there's some
it's like the highlights.
Right, the highlight. And some people don't want to watch a 3-hour video. I'm like that too. I was looking for a bag on YouTube and I was looking for a review, and somebody had a 40-minute. I'm like, I'm not watching a 40-minute review of this backpack. I'm just not going to do it. And I went to somebody else. So there are some people who are like that when it comes to the Knick content. You see a show, it's not like you don't want to support. Yo, they went 3 hours last night. I'm not watching that. So I'm going to try to put them in chapters as well. So chapters will also help people.
Right,
a 10-minute
like
segment.
They do in the videos where they split it up, and under where you put the cursor, it says RJ Barrett, whatever, slander, or RJ Barrett,
right. And then that way you could just go to that part of the video that you want to go to and just watch
that for that 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to do, because that's how I like to watch content as well. Unless I'm vacuuming or cleaning or something, like I'm not watching a 3-hour show. I'm just not doing it.
No, but the funny thing about it, I see other content creators do it also too. So why not? Why not you?
Right. Yeah.
Why not you?
Yep. A-Train, I appreciate you. A-Train, I didn't I checked my DM. I didn't see it. So go to my page. The envelope should be there now. I changed my setting. But I went there.
Give me an email too, Queen. Give me an email
and BK Steph 33. BK like Brooklyn Steph STEPH 33. It was my college number at gmail.com. And I think if you go to my page, my profile on Twitter is there as well, and just send me your address. Jeffrey Clafter, I appreciate y'all. Anyway, we'll be here all night showing love to everybody. Next time.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Sister, it's time you shine.